Dude, no, for real, dude. You're going to be the cameraman. Like, you don't deserve to sit on the couch. You ruined the entire video. Dude, I'm not joking. You're going to stand there. I know we don't zoom in. I get it. Just a little to the left. You're the cameraman.
Ashton's our cameraman now. He's been demoted because of the microphone. Now we can talk like men.
Welcome back into the Now We Can Talk Like Men podcast, a Louisville, Kentucky podcast. Talks about all the fun local things that are going on in Louisville, Kentucky, as well as some of the different news stories that pop up out there. We're going to talk sports. We're going to talk a little bit about bourbon. And of course, we're going to get into a plenty of manly nonsense. Before we open it up, though, I really need to get this off my chest. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and let you guys know who these two buffoons are. I'm Justin Sofro. Accompanying me today is Dwight Young and Brian Powell. Today, we're going to be talking about all the different things. Brian's already getting started on getting lubricated on all the tasty beverages that we will be sipping on throughout the evening. I just had to get this out of the way. There's some local news stories that are just popping up that I just had to get your quick hit responses on. First up, the big news, the big drop that came out of here locally when it came to just the legalization of gambling. Yes. Finally, you don't have to go to what people would call the sunny side of the river to go do your legal gambling wages, or you don't have to go to that parking spot that's located near River Road to go get your gambling in. And
you don't have to bet Ashton $10 per week and then wait like 2 months for him to pay you back. Exactly. You don't have to do that anymore.
Now you can actually wager against real people.
Don't act like you don't
that
do
are
that,
actually
man.
going to pay you money. Yeah, Ashton, shut the hell up. All right.
Quick question, not to divert us, but Ashton's known for having a pretty bad coaching record, right? Have you ever wondered if maybe his headset doesn't work either? Like just like his microphone? You think there's a theory to that?
Maybe they can't hear him call the plays.
Yeah, maybe that's why his team's always losing is his headset just doesn't work either.
So Ashton Bailey is the Vince Morrow of high school football. He's the guy who
Vince wins.
Okay, no, Mark Stoops wins with the guy. He's the guy that people love. He's Big Dog. You love Big Dog.
We win.
Big Dog lost a couple pounds. Congratulations to him. It's all coming back. Football season starting up. Chicken wings coming in. You know what's going on. But when it comes to Vince Morrow, I've always looked at him, and every time on the sideline, I don't think he has a clue what's going on. But he knows how to recruit. He knows how to get guys in to wear the blue and white. Anyway, going into this, when we were talking about gambling, that's going to be a big segment. I think it's something we're going to do here in the future. Maybe we'll wager a little bit against each other. Maybe it's something we can go head to head, see who's going to have the best outcome.
One thing I think we should do a lock of the week. So you can ride with us. You know, we'll give you our picks and you can bet with us
and lose with us.
And we're going to keep track. So at the end of, football season, I think we'll look back at who had the best record, and the person with the worst record will have a punishment. And you guys can help us decide what that punishment should be.
It's going to be me.
So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And one thing we'll guarantee is if we give a lock of the week, we have to guarantee that we will put some of our own money on that pick. So we're not just going to say this is our lock of the week and then we don't bet it. Yeah. We must bet that game.
Have fun losing money, suckers.
And we will leave triple figures.
So you're guaranteed that we will have skin in the game when we give you a pick. That is our promise to you.
Little foreskin in the game. Anyway, so we will be doing that throughout the season. Any opinions? Do you all have any really opinions besides good? We finally have some form of gambling that's legalized that isn't horse racing in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, people were betting anyways. Like they were going across to Indiana. So I mean, we had horse racing, so it was all hypocritical that we didn't have it to begin with. So it's about time
over the years.
It's about time. Yeah,
just throwing money outside of the state of Kentucky. We need it here. We've got bourbon, but we need other things than horse racing and bourbon. We need sports betting.
The homeless numbers are about to go way up. But other than that, my house will be on the market after a few months. So
absolutely. Ashton,
I'm looking forward to it.
Luckily, he doesn't have a home. He lives on the streets right now.
Yeah. He's our cameraman, though. Yeah. We're paying him a good chunk of money.
Yes. Another local topic we really just need to get into, and you may want nothing to do with it. And some of the people here may just be like, I don't want to touch that one. It's a little grimy is the way that I can put it. Local state senator hero. Rand Paul, Ron Paul's son. He had some comments. I think he was talking about, and if I have it, let me just pull up right here just to make sure.
Can we play the audio?
Yeah, we're going to play the audio, but I wanted to make sure. He was talking about antitrust, and somehow that made him completely swerve topic and get into the NCAA, NIL, and players. Let's go ahead and get into that.
The court ruled unanimously that the NCAA can't invoke their rules. And so they've completely screwed up college athletes. We used to be proud. Many of us love watching amateur athletes that weren't paid. Now everybody that plays basketball in college is going to be driving a Bentley or a Rolls. I mean, we're going to be seeing rap stars instead of basketball stars. I mean, this is crazy.
It's crazy that we pay these young people who are entertaining us that make us millions of dollars. Yeah, that makes no sense.
My guy's saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to show some symptoms of
racism, is that what you're getting at?
That's what I'm getting
Is that
at.
what you're getting at?
If you're going to show a little bit of that, a little bit of the good old boy mentality, I guess. That's how you do it. Oh, that's not how you do it. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. I disagree with what he's saying. I don't want to say the backbone of Kentucky. It's not, obviously colas, but when it comes to Kentucky and bourbon, a lot of the backbone though, when it comes to entertainment is very much college sports related. We don't have now soccer, but we don't have pro teams when it comes to playing locally. Right. So it's time that these guys finally make what they should be making. When you play for the University of Kentucky, which is, some people would argue, the greatest college basketball program of all time historically. And then you also have Louisville, which was once a very good program, no longer.
Yeah. There's no money to be made at UofL.
There's plenty of money. Actually, Louisville now has the highest revenue that they've ever had. Yeah, they can't play to get a good coach. We'll get into that later. But I mean, do you have any? What's your take on his?
I don't know. I didn't have as big of an issue with what he said. I think where he got in trouble was the rap. Like if he had said rock stars or if he had said pop stars, I think when the rap stars is where he got himself in trouble. And that's obviously what made you crack up. I think even as he said it, he probably was like, oh, wish I could put that back.
He had to. Like he had to have been like a deer in headlights.
You guys don't know who Rand Paul is, do you?
No, that's true. I mean, he was the guy who he got beat to a pulp in his front yard by his neighbor. That's how much he's disliked. He broke ribs. Like ribs are not easy to break in a fight. And like the guy was, he was serious.
I mean, I'm a traditionalist in this sense. I don't love that. I don't love the NIL. I'll just be honest with you. I just don't. And that's a separate topic.
The entitlement.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't love that piece of it. Now, again, I do think that they should be compensated in some way. I think the NIL is the wild, wild west where it's just unregulated, basically, to an extent. But I do want to get away from this narrative that these college players were just treated so poorly and that they were still king of campus. They were still
Shabazz
eating.
Napier went to sleep hungry.
He went to bed hungry
when he won a championship against Kentucky.
Yeah. No, they were eating better than all the other students. They have all the girls chasing them.
Brian and I ate pretty good.
Well, I mean, they're eating regardless, they are treated very well. Let's be real. So let's not act like they were not like treated like kings on campus. But again, I do think that they should be compensated a little bit. I just don't love the NIL. So I do think Rand Paul, not to say he was making a good point, but I don't think his point was so atrocious until he made that racial baiting comment. Personally,
it's an outdated philosophy, though. It's an outdated way of thinking. Like, because it's just, no matter what, it's not going to change. As much as the NCAA wants to get a hold on this thing and change the NIL, they're going to have a hard time trying to change anything about that. Anyway, that was Rand Paul's comments. That's just a little icebreaker to open things up here on the show, on the podcast. Now we're going to get into the fun part for all of us. And this is where I'm going to let my guy Dwight take over.
All right, guys. So what we've done in the past with our bourbon segment is we've taken the same distillery essentially and had 3 different products from that distillery and compared them and said what we've liked. We've had Four Roses, we've had Michter's, we've had Old Forester, we've had Buffalo Trace with the Weller line. Now what we're going to do a little bit is we're going to take 3 different distilleries and we are going to take products that are the same age and similar proof and blind them and see what we think. So we're going to go from my right all the way to the left. We're going to start with Eagle Rare and just tell you a little bit about it. So obviously it's a 10-year age statement. It could be a little bit more than that. So when you see an age statement on the bottle, what that is saying is that is the youngest amount of bourbon that can be in the glass. So you could have a 15-year bourbon that's mixed with some 10-year, but you have to call it 10-year because that's the youngest amount in there. Like Heaven Hill 17-year, for example. There is 19-year and 18-year bourbon in that blend, but they have to call it Heaven Hill 17 because they have to go by the youngest amount in there. So we'll start with Eagle Rare. Again, 10 years. It is 90 proof. One interesting thing about it used to be 101 proof until 2005, and then they changed it to 90 proof. It's
Why?
Buffalo. Yeah, it's a good question. I wish they didn't. Probably because they can make more of it. They can water it down a little bit more and get more product. Yeah, so I think that's part of it. Buffalo Trace, obviously, it's their Mash Bill 1. Their Mash Bill 1 is a lower rye than Mash Bill 2. So when you think Mash Bill 2, you're thinking that's Blanton's, that is Rock Hill Farms, that's Elmer T. Lee. With Mash Bill 1, you've got Eagle Rare, you've got Stag Jr., you've got, I believe, E.H. Taylor. So just a little
I love that
nugget
you know
there.
that off the top of your head. That's pretty.
I do know
great.
that just because I'm a loser and I study this stuff. But
I like it. I don't know that off the top of my head.
one thing I think is interesting about this is they cannot advertise it as a single barrel, even though it essentially is a single barrel. And that's because it has an automated bottling line. Before, when it was hand bottled, they could say, okay, barrel cut off. But now, because it's an automated line, there could be a bottle that has some remnants of one barrel and more of another. So they're not able to call it single barrel, but chances are you're getting just one barrel.
likely.
Yeah, more than likely. All right, we'll get into, MSRP for this, you're looking at between $35, $45. So fairly cheap. Even on secondary, you're looking at $55, I would say. So this is going to be on the cheaper end of the three. Then we've got Old Forester's Birthday Bourbon, and that is their premier product. That is the bottle that comes out only once a year. It's released once a year at the distillery. They've moved it to an online auction because people were literally camping out 48 plus hours in advance to get this bottle. It was released every September 2nd, which is George Garvin Brown's birthday, and he's the founder of Old Forester. It can be different years. This year was the 2020 year, and it was 10 years old, and the proof on this one is 98 proof.
Browns are still a huge family in Louisville, Kentucky, and do a lot of philanthropy for all of Louisville.
That's absolutely right. And it's interesting. Even though as hard as this is to find, there were 95 barrels that went into the 2020. So do you think 95 barrels? There should be a lot of this product out there. So the fact that it's impossible to find is a little of a head scratcher. All right. Lastly,
What year is that?
what year is this? 2020.
Okay, gotcha.
Some years are good. Some years suck.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
You may not like this one, but you may like 2019 or you may like 2021. So we'll see what we think. Lastly is the Michter's 10-year bourbon. This is this year's. This is what I think will end up being our winner.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. And I'm a huge Michter's fan. Obviously, I'm wearing their shirt. I love Michter's. But what's interesting about this, I don't think that this is that good of a product usually year in, year out. But I think this year they have something special in it. And there's rumors that even though it's 10 years on the label, that it's significantly older than that. And
I mean, we know that it is because they specifically did not release one last year.
Right. They didn't have a Michter's 10-year bourbon last year. They said they wanted one more year for it to mature. They thought they had something special, but it needed another year. And I think that they're right.
Yeah.
One interesting thing about this is this year, it could have been Michter's distillate. They've been in business for over 10 years. They've had their own distillate for over 10 years. So they had the chance to put their own distillate into this bottle. I don't think that they did. I think it's still Brown-Forman. That's what has been rumored to be the sourced distillate that they've used. And just based on the taste profile, I do think it's Brown-Forman. And if you're wondering what Brown-Forman, they are the distillery behind, or the company behind Old Forester, Woodford, and a lot of other Jack Daniels. So a lot of massive product lines. So we're going to taste them all. We're going to see what we think. And we're going to start. We've got one with a circle, one with a heart, and one with nothing on it. We're going to start our left to our right with the one with a heart on it.
All right.
All right. So let's get into the nose and the palate. As always, Justin, I think I want you to go first. And I'm not going to say what I like and what I don't like. I'm going to give notes, but I'm not going to say what I like or don't like, because I want everyone to rank them on their own.
Something I'm picking up from doing this a few times, doing it with you, you don't like the sweeter ones.
That's not true. I do like the sweeter ones. I just I don't want it to be watered down. I think that's where I get frustrated. And again, as you know, all of these are under 100 proof. I didn't say what the proof of this one is. This one's, I believe, 94.4. So all of these are on the lower proof end.
I will say this one, I feel like I'm getting a sweeter note to it.
Yep, I agree.
Almost like an apple. Almost.
Have you smelled the others?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, when you say, I'm getting more of a sweeter note. I mean,
I have not. No, yeah, just for clarification, I have not. I'm just doing. Should I do them all?
Do you know what's funny? I've noticed that you go to Apple a lot.
Yes.
And that's not uncommon because even some like bourbon fanatic friends that I have, I've noticed certain notes just like always appear to them. Like there's one guy that he gets bubble gum out of almost everything. And I'm like,
this one, the second one. Sorry, I get bubble gum. I was trying to place that. Sorry, and I was talking off mic. I get a bubble gum out of that one.
Yeah.
Can you all sense that a little bit?
So let's do one at a time.
Sorry,
let's do one at a time.
I'm sorry. Brian asked me if I had tried the other.
So anything other than
yeah, this one, I feel like the first one I get the most of a sweet like apple.
Okay.
So when I say sweet apple, but we'll get to the second one later.
So I've already compared, unfortunately, my nose, and I think this one has the least available to it.
Like sweetness
The least, I don't smell as much on this one. Yeah,
Okay.
It smell a lot of alcohol, of course, but like I don't smell some of the notes that other people talk about.
I do agree with you on that because after Dwight said the bubblegum one, that started to hit for the others. This one, I do not get a bubblegum flavor, but I get maybe I'm just getting an oak and I'm associating the oak, the woody smell. With like an apple.
Yep.
Maybe that's my association there. I get more, I guess the best way to compare this one is having an inexperienced palate, I would say. This one is what I get more of like a almost the blandest. Does that make the most sense?
Yeah.
Like the most regular bourbon smell that I think of.
I do notice that this is probably the heaviest pour for me, so I'm wondering which one that is.
So what do you think, Brian?
Yes, all those things. Oak. Honestly, in comparison, I hate to say
not in comparison. Let's not compare them yet. Like, what do you just get like on its own? Like, as far as
oak.
And
that sounds like the most basic, without using a curse word, basic scent that you could possibly say. But I mean, unfortunately, I'm not smelling very much on this one.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm digging this nose. Honestly, I'm digging it. I mean, it's
what don't
super.
I smell? I'm not a dog.
No, I mean, it's very bright. I mean, but I'm getting like fruits just bursting from it. I'm just getting a lot of fruit from it.
I must be drunk already because I can't.
Yeah,
I can.
I'm getting just super bright fruits on this, but it's like not subtle. Like I feel like when we did Weller, when I would get a fruity smell, it would be a subtle. I had to dig for it. This one, I think it just explodes into my nose.
Yeah.
Can we be clear? Did you pour these or
I did not?
Okay,
Allison did.
deal.
So I don't know what these are.
Okay,
Nope.
gotcha.
I do agree. Like, that's why I said like the apple at first. I got more of like a fruity. I don't know if that's explosion, but I do get the hint of that.
I can't wait.
And then the oak.
Sorry, I'm
All
drunk.
right, so let's dig into the palate.
Whoa. There's a lot more taste than what I was smelling.
Wow, Dad.
All right, what do you think, Justin?
I would say it's the same taste that I was smelling.
Okay.
Like, does that make sense?
You're still getting apple.
Like,
basically.
I feel like it transitions pretty smoothly from the nose to the throat.
Brian.
I wish I could explain this. This is wow.
Getting fireworks going on. Getting a little bit of like excitement.
I don't have the vocabulary that Dwight has when it comes to tasting. I just know whether I like it or not.
Is it exciting though?
The smell on it was making me feel kind of depressed, and it's bursting with flavor.
It just kind of dance on your tongue a little bit.
You know what's funny?
Pretty strong cherry.
I feel like Brian and I have completely opposite palate.
I don't disagree
in
with
a
that.
sense.
Yeah, I do.
Because I'm the flip of it, where I actually was digging the nose, like I said.
That's amazing.
I'm not digging the palate.
Wow.
And I think the palate is very much clashes with the nose. Like on the nose, I'm getting this bright fruit. And on the palate, I'm getting, I don't know, I'm getting like candied. I'm getting this like candy almond taste to it, which I'm not a big almond
that's
fan.
not something I would have ever said, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Cherry and almonds.
Yeah, and I don't like
me.
almonds, and so the almonds is like bumming me out because I'm like, get the almonds out of my mouth. I get like candy almonds and white pepper.
Now,
Those are the things
I would never say those words. Like I don't.
Yeah.
That's not something I think about.
white
but
pepper.
Yeah.
White pepper.
Yeah. Go to Heaven
that.
Hill. They have all these like scent stuff.
Yeah.
And like you can and like it's amazing how much.
That's my question.
You
It's like,
start to
you guys
train
are
your
so
mind.
easily and fluently, I feel like, talking about like different flavors you're getting.
I know.
In the distilling process, do they add in stuff like that?
No,
where you can get
they-
flavor?
yeah, they squeeze fruit juice and
Well, no, y'all told me that they can't do
they
that.
pour cherry syrup. down
they
the-
So like,
can't-
how can are these imaginary? Like, are these imaginary or are these real flavors?
It's real flavors. Like you get some flavors from the distillate, but I would say the vast majority, and I think Heaven Hill said this in a tour I did, the vast majority of the tasting notes you're going to get comes from the barrel.
Okay.
And that's why you can have the exact same distillery, exact same age, proof, two different barrels. They might have sat right beside each other in the rick house, taste completely different.
Right.
So, do they like? How do they insert these flavors? Are they in the like?
They're just in the wood.
Right.
Yeah,
In the wood?
yeah, there's sugars
Do they
in the
like
wood.
rub it around it and like do
Well,
they like you know what I mean? Like
no.
well, like, you
The heat and the cold from the different seasons pulls the bourbon into the wood and then pushes it back out. So in the
But when you're
summer,
saying like the white pepper and stuff like that, are they marinating the wood prior to doing the process?
they only come from fresh, newly charred oaked barrels.
So the flavor is all just oak, but
You can't reuse a barrel. You have to have it new.
One thing that can be different that they can do is the level of char, the char level.
Right.
So like they could char a barrel for like, they have like, they call them like char level 5, char level 4.
It's 1 through 5.
Yeah, it's 1 through 5.
and Zard.
Yes. No, but the amount of char also brings out a different tasting profile, right? Like if you have,
Took him a second to get it.
I'm feeling pretty good. Apparently, that took me a second to find a Pokemon reference, but yeah, okay.
I didn't get it. Again, that explains
'Cause
why
you're
'cause I
not
don't do
a-
Pokemon.
yeah, nerd, yeah.
But going back to this, I mean,
I
to
was
answer,
getting laid
to answer
when I was
your,
9.
yeah, I was. I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't.
No,
Yes, I was too busy catching Pokemon
by myself. I laid
Anyway.
myself. Anyways, I don't know. So when I sniffed this one, I'm like, ooh, man, this is going to be a nice little fruity drink I'm going to enjoy. And then I tasted, I'm like, oh, almond. I'm like, it's kind of like almonds, a little bitter, like white pepper. Like I said, like it's almost more of a bitter palate and a bright fruity nose, which is weird to me.
Yeah, I do get that.
Which makes me think, I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's go to the one in the middle, which is the one with the circle. Let's get into that little guy.
Should I be finishing these or no?
No, I wouldn't.
Leave a little bit.
Yeah,
you
just
can,
so that we
you can
can-
drink most of it. But
Oh
leave
yeah,
a little
for
bit.
the end. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot more going on here.
this I get bubblegum. This is a bubblegum.
I agree.
I can see it. Yeah.
I would never say those words
I
for
think you
bourbon
must
until you
have-
said that.
Until he said bubblegum,
Yeah.
and then now I think about like the
I spoke it into existence.
But do you know
Yeah.
like the old style,
Yeah.
like the
Bazooka,
pink,
bazooka.
the bazooka,
Yeah.
or the pink that are like rounded, double bubble,
Yeah.
that kind.
When you're
yeah.
in the, when you're playing baseball in Little League.
yeah,
and
that's
your mom
it's-
buys you like a bucket full of them.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Flavor goes away in like 2 seconds.
Yep. That's what this is. Yeah, this is absolutely the double bubble.
Brian, you get anything else?
I already drank it. I ruined it. I can't.
All right,
I'm
well, then
sorry.
go
I have
ahead.
no self-control.
Then go ahead and tell me what you think on the palate and
On the
nose.
palate? It's bursting with flavor more than what this one was. I think I almost tempered my expectations based upon my nose from the very first one. And then when I tasted it, I was like, whoa, like I could actually taste where I couldn't smell. This is significantly different than what this was. I mean, it's got a lot going on. I would, like I said, I'm struggling to place the vernacular, but it's, in my opinion, it's significantly better tasting than what this first one was.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say which ones I like better yet, but
Sorry.
on the nose, I get your bubblegum. I think the palate does not have bubblegum whatsoever, but I think the nose does. On this, I'm getting a lot of oak, like rich oak. I'm getting tobacco smoke and leather. I think this has a lot more of a deeper, darker profile.
Tobacco smoke.
Yeah,
I can
I
identify
see
with
that.
that. I'm not sure about the leather, but tobacco smoke.
No,
yeah.
I think
I can see both. I can see the airiness at first of the smoke, but then when you get the full flavor, I do get a leather. Like when you're in a leather shop or a guy who's working on leather, they're burning it. Like I can smell that.
Yeah. I mean, this one just tastes so like dark and almost mysterious, but I want to say it's just almost like, I don't know. It just reminds me of like, it just reminds me of a tobacco smoke, like a cherry tobacco smoke with like leather and oak. I mean, it's just dark and rich. That's what I'm getting out of that.
It just reminds me of my grandpappy smoking a big old pipe. Justin, when the hell have you been around a leather shop with burning leather?
He's Mr. Slave. That's when he has to dress up.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me winks. No,
I mean, this is strong.
Sarah's gotten me leather things.
Oh, yeah?
Like
BDSM stuff or
no,
what?
like
Whips and chains.
No, like one of them was
Attack of the Gay Kid.
no, one of them was like a thing for my like glasses and stuff for like my like cases and stuff.
And
like,
she burns it for you before she gives it
no,
to
she
you?
gets it like freshly made, like made from the place.
Okay,
and that's what it is.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, there's so much going on here.
All right, Justin, just so we know, which of the two do you prefer between those two?
It's this one, the second one.
Second one?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, it's just after you've like slowly over time, once you start to describe these flavors, I can start to like process them in my mind instead of just processing a bourbon flavor.
Right.
Yeah.
I start to get them.
Yeah.
And like this one, it's more fun to me. I don't know how to say it. Like it's more of like I actually enjoy this one. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like other ones have just been like, okay, I'm slogging through it.
Yeah.
This one, those different flavors are hitting and I'm going for a ride.
Yeah. No, it's great. I'm super impressed with Justin on this. Like for whatever reason, his ascension is so much quicker than mine. Where my like bourbon journey, I was very like looking back on the stuff I did, I was like, you were dumb. You didn't catch anything. And so yeah.
So I guess he's caught me.
No,
that's where I'm pretty
no.
much
I just go back and think of myself, and I'm just like,
so it's like he just has a really good teacher. He has good teachers.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's how he's picking it up.
Amazing.
All right, guys, let's go to the last one. This one has nothing on it, so let's get into that one. Oh my goodness.
So just to be clear, I've had the Eagle Rare, obviously, and I've had the Michter's 1023, year 2023. I've had some birthday bourbon, but I haven't had that much. And I'm not exactly sure that was Michter's 2023 or that was Michter's 2023. So I'm kind of wondering while I'm drinking this, am I drinking? Yeah. So let's see here. All right. What do you smell, Dwight? I want to hear from you first.
Justin first.
Oh, that's right.
This one, to me, almost.
I feel like you should switch to me. I'm the novice. Justin's the one who's got
I'm
more.
the expert. No,
yeah, when it comes to the nose, yes, I agree.
This one, I almost feel like is giving me the dullest of flavor.
Ooh,
this one to me is giving me the least. And maybe I need to go back through the few to really compare. But like that second one gave me a lot. It gave me a lot to work with. I felt like this one. I feel like I'm just getting a very like you know how you kind of say water like more dull to me.
I have no self control.
Would you?
I smelled it.
Just immediately drank it. Yeah,
Didn't even worry about what it was.
Yeah, Brian has no time for nose.
No,
he's just like
come on, put that in my mouth.
Like I don't know. Maybe when I taste it, it'll be different. But like with the nose, with me,
You're just not getting as much.
It's the dullest. It's the closest to what I've heard, at least for me, the way my palate's receiving it. The water flavor or the waterish, and then also. It's just there's not a big burst there. Like I get oak. I get a lame oak.
Interesting. Lame oak. Well, I mean, this oak is lame.
No, but I mean like a lower level. And I don't know. Maybe the flavor will hit me different.
This nose reminds me a little bit of the first one, but not as fruity, but more as tropical. Like I sniff this and I feel like I'm on like a beach with like under a palm tree, just like I don't know this. This is super tropical to me. I'm getting like those types of.
I want to feel that way. I don't feel that.
All right, what do you get?
Okay.
Like I said, I wish I'd tell you. I just know when I drank it, whether I like it or I don't.
Let me go ahead. I haven't sipped it yet, so let me get into it.
It kind of tastes like alcohol, and it kind of tastes like some wood.
The second one, like I'm on the ranch, assless chaps. I'm good to go. We're doing this thing. That's what we're doing. The first one, what?
What the hell does that mean?
Assless chaps. You know what I'm saying? On the ranch.
I know. But so what do you? Oh, okay,
You're on a motorcycle.
Like he was saying, like he was describing it like he's on the beach, he's enjoying it.
Oh, okay.
The second one, I'm getting like
you're on the ranch.
I'm getting like
farming.
I'm in
cows. And
Red Dead Redemption.
You got your sheepdog here.
We're good to go. I am dying of tuberculosis.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. You got typhoid fever on the Oregon Trail. Yeah, okay.
Arthur Morgan. I'm living Arthur Morgan's life.
I want to hear Dwight.
Neither of you you have played Red Dead Redemption.
No,
What do you-
I haven't. I know it's a great game.
You just get
It's fantastic.
So he got lame oak on the nose. Have you sipped it yet?
No, I haven't said
All right. What did you say on the palate?
Honestly. Sweeter and
There's no burn.
I mean, there's burn, but I've also been drinking 121 proof.
Well, then there
barrel
should be no
proof
burn
stuff.
because you've been taking the.
I mean, I can disseminate, which one has what.
This
But
one's the easiest to drink for me.
you know what's sad in my mind is obviously I can't control myself when I drink it, but I can't control myself to say, okay, I know which one that one is. I know which one that one is. So like I already have it in my head. I know what these are, and I'm going to be wrong again, just like I was last time with my favorite stuff. But I'm not allowed to say what I like. I'm just supposed to talk about my palate.
We're almost there. We're almost there. We're
Dwight,
finished.
go on.
I mean, this one is the one that I think for me stays true to the nose. I'm getting the same thing on the palate that I got on the nose, where again, I think it is, I'm getting like mango, I'm getting coconut, I'm getting all of those tropical flavors that I would get, like, again, if you feel like you're at the beach and you're just like sipping something in Margaritaville. I don't know. I'm just getting all of those, like I said, mango, pineapple, coconut with just a hint of oak, but not a lot. And well, that's the same thing I was getting on the nose. So that's what I'm getting on this one.
I'm trying to get a coconut. I'm trying to get one of those flavors. And like, I
don't know if you're incepting my mind and you're telling me what I'm supposed to taste when you're saying it. Cause I do, I can taste the mango. I can taste the fruitiness, the tropical fruitiness of it.
Yep.
When you're saying it, but I would never be able to place that in my head without you already putting it that there. So
Yeah.
it depresses me.
Just mind fucking you.
What do you think? I mean, maybe, but I mean, it's working. I'm not saying no. So
now that I go back to the smelling, this is a really weird, like, kind of flavor.
Semen?
No, it goes to like the smell.
Gotcha.
The smell of painting. Sometimes that's you know that like sometimes it's just a sweet
I know what you're
smell
talking
when you're
about.
painting.
Yeah, the paint fumes that get you really fucked up and high. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can get a little bit of that. I don't know why. I can get a little bit of that. It's just
Rubbing
to me,
alcohol,
the flavors that you're
thinning agent. Yeah.
The other ones I was able to kind of like discern those a little bit, like the different flavors where I'm like, okay, I can get that one. Like the second one, when you said about the smell of tobacco, smoked tobacco, and then the leather smell, I got that. Like even though I can still get the bubblegum flavor if I want to. But this one, it's hitting dull for me.
Okay. And
I'm not saying it's a bad thing because I don't like it to burn a lot.
Sure.
But like I'm sipping on it and I'm not getting. I'm not getting a hit.
Yep.
Like I'm not getting like a really hard like fucking you in the back of the throat.
So remind me of proofages. This is 90.
90 proof.
Yep.
98 proof.
Okay.
94.4.
Okay.
Okay. So are you ready to rank, or do you need to revisit any of them?
I'm so ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready to. All right. We're going to go Justin, Brian, myself. So rank them for us.
Should Brian go first since he's the least?
Since he's the worst of this?
Since he's the least.
I'm totally fine with that.
Okay, no.
So I have to rank them without saying what they are, right?
Yeah, well, let's say what they are afterwards.
Number 1 is my least favorite. Number 2 is
Actually,
my
do this.
Oh, that's a great call.
Do this.
Hold
do
up.
them at the same time. Rank them and then say what you think they are.
Okay, so the heart was the very first one that we had. That is my least favorite.
your least
I'm going
favorite?
to argue that is Eagle Rare.
Okay.
And I love Eagle Rare. Eagle Rares are great, but like when I'm comparing it, there's no comparison in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm going to go with number 2 is the Circle. And that is my opinion as Michter's 23. There's so much bursting flavor in there. There's so much to smell. I can't place it, but it smells great. And then my...
is that your favorite or your second favorite?
This is my... I should have gone that order.
That's okay.
It's
just
almost
say
like
it.
I'm drunk. So my least favorite is this first one, which has the heart, and it is probably Eagle Rare. This the third one, which has nothing on it, is what I think is the birthday bourbon. And it has a lot of flavor to it. I don't know how much it smells to me as much, but I would say that's my second favorite. And then the last one is the Michter's 23, in my opinion, and it is the one with the circle. There is, so much going on there.
Okay. Justin.
Okay. Kind of similar, but different.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
I'll probably be wrong again.
My favorite one is the second one, and that one given from what you spoke about when you spoke glowingly about Michter's, if it's not Michter's, it would surprise me at this point.
Okay.
I mean, birthday bourbon is like the
and
premier Old Forester product.
And I didn't say this. Obviously, I said what the MSRP and secondaries for this. MSRP for this, $150.
Is it really? I thought it'd be more.
Yeah. Well, at the distillery, they charge a little bit more. So at the distillery, you're looking at like $200.
Okay.
Secondary, like $800.
Yeah.
Between $700 and $800.
Crazy.
Jeez. Okay.
For this one, you're looking at MSRP this year about $185.
Okay.
It's a little more at the distillery. Secondary value for this one, because it has such a good reputation, is around $400, around $350 to $400 is what you're looking at. So obviously, this is almost double secondary value of this.
Right.
So anyways, just letting you all know kind of what you're looking at as far as if you're chasing them on the secondary market or if you're looking at them for MSRP.
Is there an age statement on you said the birthday bourbon?
10 years.
So all of these are 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, again,
at least
minimum 10 years.
Right.
Because there's 95 barrels that went into this.
Right.
So we know that the youngest is 10 years. So all of them have an age statement on them and it's 10 years.
So explain to me with that. There's 95 barrels. They pour them all together.
Yep.
Okay,
And blend
gotcha.
them. Yep.
Gotcha.
And so
just a
that
small
is
batch.
why,
Okay.
again, this is a single barrel.
Right.
You may get one that tastes completely different than this one.
Oh yeah.
With this, they should all taste the same because they should have all been from that same blend.
Right.
This again too, it's not technically a single barrel, but it kind of is.
Right.
So
There
yeah.
could be some bleed over.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say, and I'm going to hope that this second one is the Michter's because you have Michter's left over and I would drink more. I would do the Ashton more.
Okay.
I would disrespect you with this
There you
pour,
go. There you go.
for more of this one.
Okay.
The first one, the ones I got the most of the fruity flavor, the apple I said, or any kind of fruity blast that you had in your mouth. This is just I'm just going to go in and guess. I'm just going to say with the flavor wise and all that, I would go with the birthday one.
And that's the first one? The one with the heart?
Yeah, I'm going to guess that just because and I guess it would make sense how it could be the third one as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was just so dull to me.
The last one?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
the dullest one to me.
Okay.
And maybe that's what they
I'm gonna be so happy. Birthday bourbon was the worst
Like,
one
right.
for me. Yes, because I don't like it.
Right. Well,
Like,
but also like
comparison.
at the same time, yeah, it would make sense both ways.
Yeah.
But this one just maybe it's the smoothest to drink. Like you could eat or drink this one very easily.
Yeah.
So
got you.
Got it.
Yeah, got you.
and so obviously Eagle Rare would be my
And Eagle Rare is your number 2. That's what you're putting you're giving that the second amount
right.
of
Yeah,
points,
I'm gonna hope that's what that is. Just because I want the one that's most expensive to be the one I like least, but it's probably not.
So you're saying birthday bourbon is the one without anything or the one with the heart?
The one without anything.
No, you said
No.
yeah.
You're right. Sorry, I backwards.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank
The
you.
one with the
He
heart.
switched these two
I
from
got
you.
it. Okay.
Or no, sorry,
No,
these two.
those two.
Yep.
Yeah, those two.
Okay.
All right, I'll keep mine quick. So we can get to the next thing.
You already
I don't know for a fact,
okay.
but I have a strong opinion,
Yeah.
and I'm the same as yours,
That's what I thought.
and I'm ranked the same as yours. So going again, this I think overwhelmingly this second one, the one with the circle,
It's so
it has to
good.
be
It's really good.
a Michter's 10. And I will say I'm not advocating for secondary prices. But
worth
if that's
it.
the only way you can get it,
Buy
get
it.
one. It is
so
special.
good.
That
I think
tingle on
it
your
is
tongue
special.
I'm getting right now.
I have two
I
extra
think it is
bottles at
special.
home
I
waiting on me.
mean, that's why I don't think there's any chance this is 10 years old. I think that this has been in there for 15 years. I think it's brown foreman juice. Gosh, if you cannot get this at the distillery, you got to get one. You
Right.
got to get one.
Taste it.
It's like what's that? The Air Force Ones. You ain't got to have 2 or 3, but you got one, man. All right, let's see. Circle.
Boom. Yeah, easily identified. Yes.
All right, so
That
Good
made a
win.
lot of sense.
It's a good win.
So yeah, I think we all knew
goodness.
that was the clear and decisive winner.
It's so good.
All right, now let's get
Yeah,
into
gotta know.
on this one. This one, the star Brian and I thought was Eagle Rare. I think it's Eagle Rare 2 because again, I've always
Yeah,
the heart. Sorry, the one with
Okay.
heart I think is Eagle Rare. I've always kind of loved the nose on Eagle Rare, and it's always got me excited. And I've never had an Eagle Rare that I enjoyed on the palate.
doesn't
And
smell like anything.
That's the same. I think it smells like so like fruit, like this great fruit. But I don't like the almonds that I'm getting from it.
Is there a heart?
And sure enough, there's
Is
a
Dwight?
heart.
Are you betting
Wait.
1,000 on all these
Batting
bourbon
1,000 so far?
choices?
Yeah.
Like not just this
Okay,
time, but
yeah.
like normally. Like, are you
And
1,000?
I think secondary price, stay away from this. It's secondary. At retail, I know retail is also expensive. It's still $150 to $200. but it's a special bottle. If nothing else, it looks great on the shelf. One thing I like to do, and obviously other people like to do as well, is commemorate your child's birth year with that birthday bourbon. So like I have a son that was born in 2018, daughter born in 2022. So I had to get those 2 years. And
I need a 2020, guys.
Oh, there you go. The one you don't really care for.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
much.
Ezra, we're going to drink a 23 together.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, for what it's worth, my daughter who was born in 2022, I've heard that year is not great either. So, I mean, we'll drink it when she turns 21. She'll probably be like, Dad, why didn't you sell this and buy me something nice?
I'm
and
sure
I'll
she'll
say,
think those
because I'm an
thoughts.
alcoholic, babe. I'm sorry.
When does it release?
It's September 2nd every year, which is George Garvin Brown's birthday. Good luck getting it, because they don't even put it out at the distillery. It used to be they would put it out at the distillery and people would camp out for days.
Yeah.
And now they're like, no, we don't want people lined up outside of our building for days. So now it's an online release. Everyone around the country is doing it. They're signing up their cousins, their uncles, their grandmas, their dead relatives. So good luck.
Well, sorry to my youngest. I'm not going to go try to get that for him.
Oh, come on.
But
Come on.
No, if for the Mictors, I would do it. Like
gotta
I
get
would.
it. You
Like I
gotta
said,
get it.
I am that one. I for the length that we've done this, we're 6 episodes in.
Yep.
This is the first one that I'm like, I want more of that. Like,
And see,
I really want more of
and
it.
it crossed my mind. It crossed my mind today that I want us to, at the end of the year, go back and say, these were the top bottles that we reviewed. And then maybe we can do like a full breakdown and do a battle of our favorites.
Yeah.
So for me, it's CYPB and 23 Mictors.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, get this bottle. I know I'm a Michter's fanboy, but this bottle's worth it's funny when this bottle came out and I was one of the first in my group of bourbon friends to open it. And I was like, this bottle is awesome. And everyone was like, Michter's 10. We've had Michter's 10. It's not great. I just can't get down with it. And I'm like, this is different.
Yeah.
This is different. Get the 2023 Michter's 10. All right. So let's transition, guys. One other thing to note, if you're wondering what Brian and I are sipping in our other glass, I got this little bad boy in today. This is Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye. And I'm so excited to try it.
That's a special release, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just
so you may see this in a review as well, but that's what we're sipping if you're curious.
I got a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, not the rye, because I'm not a rye fan, but I think I'm going to have to try that at some point here now.
Yep. So let's get into our main topic. As Justin said, we are primarily going to be a UK UofL centered podcast. You know, we're going to keep it Kentucky themed. That's why we're going with the bourbon. We're talking Rand Paul. We're going to talk, sports betting, all that stuff.
But you got to talk about
we got to talk about UofL. We've got to talk about UK. Tonight, we're probably going to talk more about UofL because Justin's favorite man, Kenny Payne, finally spoke. He finally spoke.
Payne.
I've met some people that are not as pessimistic as you.
Yeah.
But I've never met a Kenny Payne stan.
There are a lot of people that are, it's confusing, but there are a lot of people that are fans that like they can live in this world. It's a totally different world because like I am so entrenched as a fan. Like I listen and I talk sports a lot, and like with doing sports radio, being part of ESPN Louisville before and doing all that. Maybe I'm a little bit more in touch than I would have been. Maybe I would have just tuned out. But there's so many people that are able to live their lives as fans, which is just they go about it and they kind of just when they talk about sports, they're just like, well, if they're not good, hopefully they'll do better next year. He needs a chance. And I'm like, dude, this is a multi-million-dollar business. Like this is you realize the kind of money
Rome
we are
wasn't built in a
pouring
day,
into
Justin.
these people. Shut the fuck up. We are like it's like anyway. Okay, well, actually, let's get into it. Let's get into the actual comments that Kenny Payne made. So first up to open into this because he did make a comment similar to that one, kind of like what you're saying, and it set me the bleep off, and I was the Twitter.
Why are you
fingers.
bleeping yourself after you've already told
After I've already said the bleep up, yeah. After I said the F, I don't know. I'm trying to help myself.
Is there a bleep on the sound thing?
There is. I believe there is a sensor beep in here.
there you go.
Yes.
So the whole time.
And I think, and throughout this recording that we're going to play of Kenny Payne, we listened to this previously, and there are a couple points where I think you should pause because
we will.
He made a couple points where I was like, I kind of agree with him. Like, not necessarily saying that UofL fans want to hear what he said.
Yeah.
But I was like, I mean, not untrue.
wrong.
Not untrue.
Okay, well let's preface this with this to begin with. Kenny Payne has done this thing where after last season, he blamed everything away for the majority of the season off on the players, off on circumstances before he arrived and just tried to excuse everything away. I have seen universities and programs deal multiple times with different kind of violations, different kind of issues, and a guy comes in and he gets the ball rolling because he knows how to coach. He actually knows how the game works, and he can actually drop X's and O's and get stuff out of his players, even if they may not be the guys that he would love to have. Kenny Payne, I guess the best way that I would put this is that he kind of built himself up a fort around him with excuses about the players not being talented, saying that the players came from bad homes and were bad people, and basically just like the stuff that like he did the opposite of the unwritten rule. Like as a coach, you always know is you talk about your players good, you always act like they're great, you make excuses for them. That's what you do. And instead, what happened was he did the opposite of everything I've ever seen happen.
Colin Coward, basically, with John Wall, where he said John Wall will never be good because he doesn't know his dad.
Yeah. I don't remember that. That's very similar. But I've never in the history of sports seen somebody say that they had bad families. Like say that these players are not good and they are talentless and they come from bad families. And that's what he did most of the season, just attacking the players personally. And the most confusing thing to me, giving everything around the program and giving everything around social media nowadays. So I imagine that a lot of these players are not like good friends or in love with Kenny Payne anymore.
Right.
Never once did I see them ever combat anything on social media. And that's the most confusing part to me is that he is literally defecating on you. The entire season, he is saying these horrible things about you, your family, that you have no talent, that you are no good at this game.
I apparently didn't pay enough attention.
It was every fucking game through the season. He talked about it and he said it. Like it would every post game, every press, whatever.
Seriously?
Yes, every
That's
time.
how much I divorced myself from UofL basketball.
That's great. I'm glad you're on this podcast.
I'm not here for that. I'm here to drink all of Dwight's bourbon.
No, and it works because we have Justin, who is like the Grim Reaper.
Right.
We have Brian, who's more just like on
Oblivious.
the outskirts, and he's kind of the guy that Justin is saying he hates.
Right.
Because he's like, oh, we'll see what happens.
No,
and then I'm the UK,
I enjoy basketball.
I'm the UK fan who can just kind of like
rag on UofL.
Yeah,
but
just rag
also,
on you guys, and then also like when it's my turn, I'll talk about Cal.
I don't even know how you can I understand how you can rag, but I don't understand how it's like.
It's not as
enjoyable.
much. It's not.
It's
Right.
not.
No,
It's
not
different because I remember there's a period where when things are that bad, it's like it's not even fun to rival.
No, it's not fun.
Okay.
It's not as fun. But I'm not gonna say I wish you guys were good. I mean, if that makes sense.
As a rivalry, I think we should be somewhat competitive.
Yeah,
They're not necessarily great, but good enough to be like when you beat the shit out of us, it's worthy.
Yeah.
Like the tallies of winning these games, they just don't hold as strong as like winning competitive games where Rick Pitino's flipping off UK fans.
Exactly.
And people are angry and you get the fire. It's just like UofL showed up and UofL was terrible. UK wasn't even that good last season. And it was like, oh, UK only beat them by 20. Wow, UK must suck.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Okay.
Right.
Depressing.
Right.
So first off, what I'm trying to say is Kenny Payne has spent since the end of the season. G's are moving silence like
lasagna.
That's a badass comment. I'm already on board.
You like
G's move in silence,
like lasagna,
like a G in lasagna.
The reason he says it, and also it's because Calipari says it.
I know, right?
Which is also because, and this is the mustiest bleep ever, Lil Wayne said it in that stupid album from 2008, and that's where Calipari gets it. That's where Calipari gets Lil Wayne comments, and that's how he's hip with the kids.
And that's okay because Cal's like Cal is literally like a grandpa that like wants to act cool. So you can almost like laugh that off, like, oh, it's Cal trying to act cool.
Right. But
when
when
Kenny Payne says it, you'd be like, dude, that's the best you got.
Yeah, like that's what you got. Anyway, so he's avoided media and he has not talked to any local media. And this is something that maybe you all definitely probably won't care about. But having worked for ESPN Louisville, they have both stations, ESPN Louisville 680 and 93.9 The Ville, which 93.9 The Ville is the Louisville affiliate station,
right?
Which means everything UofL, all the games, everything's being played through there. Jeff Brom, since he's come to Louisville, has been on there multiple. Obviously, he's friends with Drew Diener, but he's been on there multiple times.
There's some excitement there, though, too.
But you have a media obligation in your contract whenever you sign it. So much of your money comes from media.
Yes,
And he hasn't done like any media. He does this John,
so he doesn't get paid for it, right?
Rothstein. Well, right. He still makes the money, but like, I mean, a lot of it's obviously advertising for different little, all this little stuff. But
you think there's a reason he hasn't?
Obviously.
He thinks they're going to hold his feet to the fire.
Yeah,
Right?
He doesn't. He wants to, but like the problem is like having worked at ESPN Louisville, there are plenty of people that would love him up. That he could come on if he wants to have somebody love him up. Maben. He's gonna love him up because Marcus, it's his guy, and like he's a
former player.
I mean, not to make this a UK thing, but he probably got that out of Cal's playbook. He's doing the same thing because Cal refuses to go on KSR. Not obviously, I'm not a KSR fan, but
they throw their lot in with Stoops.
Yeah,
and they're
it's because Matt Jones.
It
was a give and take. It was a give and take because it wasn't just that they threw their lot in with Stoops and said screw Cal. It was that Matt Jones, who I am not advocating for by any means. I know you guys hate him.
I don't.
But he gave some fair criticism of Cal after one of the seasons. Okay. He gave a fair criticism of Cal after the season, and Cal took that personally. Basically, I think he said, I think there needs to be some changes on the staff. Not saying Cal needed to be fired, but some others did. Yeah. And Cal took that personally and refused to come on the show. Yeah. And so, obviously that made Matt Jones a little petty. And so now he's like, well, you're not going to come on my show. Now I'm really going to rip the Band-Aid off and come at you. So it sounds like he's taking a a page out of Cal's playbook, and he's like, well, I know the media is going to hurt me, so I'm just going to avoid them.
Yeah, I'm going to avoid them at all costs. Right. And the issue too with that there is like what I don't understand, like because you have a deal though with the university with 93.9 The Ville. Yes, there are things that I know when it comes to some of the comments that were made, and then Louisville. The university reaching out and being like, you guys can't, like Tom Jurching in the situation. Mm-hmm. And it's different. As much as, people can say about Tom Jurch, you can kind of do that when you're winning. Yeah. When you put together winning squads and winning teams and winning cultures, that's fine. If you have a losing culture and not only losing, but historically bad, like the worst.
You got to make yourself likable to the media, to the fan base. Yeah. You can't just say, I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah. Like people can crush you and they should be able to crush you, even if it's the affiliate station at that point.
They have a duty to the fan base to also be honest, not just sugarcoat it.
But but there are stupid people out there who will listen to these comments and just be like, okay, well, he knows what he's doing. Kenny Payne, it takes time. Do you realize how bad? Anyway, so when it comes to Kenny Payne, he chooses to go on John Rothstein instead, which is, CBS, a podcast he does on his own. This thing was released this previous weekend.
John Rothstein is amazing, by the way, in the sense, not saying he's entertaining, but cheesy. He doesn't have a life outside of college basketball.
Oh, no.
He could name every player for every D1, even probably D2 school. Like, it's pretty sad that he does not. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's impressive and sad at the same time.
Yeah, to a point. But anyway, he chooses to go into John Rothstein. This was recorded 5 weeks ago, and they just released it now. So he makes some comments. Yeah, 5 weeks ago. I don't know.
What's the point?
I don't know. But I guess
you really had to clean up the audio.
There's probably better content. Probably it's just like
we're gonna put that back.
We're scraping the bottom of the barrel this week. Let's find Kenny Payne's interview.
So just to kind of just lay this out there, one of the current, I guess like the marching orders, the walking points when it comes to the University of Louisville and the things that they're sticking with, you can feel this is year one. Right. Last year doesn't count. Right. Yeah. No, and this will set me off. This is year one. Last year was year zero. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
He could do whatever. Okay. Okay. Let's go and play the first sound.
Play it.
Oh, man. And this is Kenny Payne talking about the transfer portal.
Yep.
And the whole situation going on with that.
It's a challenge, but it's a necessary evil, and that's the world that we're living in right now. I shouldn't say necessary evil because it could be a great blessing, or it could be, it's a microwave type of situation where you can go and get guys out the portal and have success for a year. I would rather build a program and do it the right way and get young people to have a good mixture of veteran guys so that you have some stability, not just for a year, but over time, year after year, and do it the right way.
Can I start?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I agree 100%. But let me just say this.
The idea of it.
Let me just say this.
You agree with what Kenny Payne said?
I agree with what Kenny Payne says because I hate the culture of college basketball today. In that,
You mean UK culture?
no,
What
college
John
basketball.
Calipari
No.
built?
He did not build the portal.
No, I'm talking about the one and done. He's talking about building.
He's not. He's
That's
not.
what he's talking
That's
about.
not. He's talking about the portal where essentially, and again, this is I think why UK has struggled over the years because they have not adapted to the portal as well. And I think what he's saying, I personally agree with, is that you go to a program, you don't get the minutes you want. You immediately can leave and you can play. Yeah, you can immediately leave and you can immediately play at another school. Where the one and done system was like, if you are really freaking good, yeah, you can go to the NBA, but you can't just leave and go to another school and play immediately.
Okay.
And so I think what he's saying is he wants to be able to build a program instead of this like, I'm going to buy a player for a year from another school, and if it doesn't work out, he goes, that whole thing. I agree. So here's the thing. I agree with him, but his outlook is not going to win you games. That type of mentality is not going to be successful in today's game because in today's game, you have to embrace what it is and you have to be a master of the portal to have success. So the fact that he's even using the word necessary evil shows that he is not going to be successful in this culture. While I agree with him that the culture sucks, you're coaching in this culture, so you better figure it out.
Right.
Well, and this is the biggest problem with hiring Kenny Payne in a time like this. This probably may have worked a lot better if you would have hired him 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. If you would have hired him to do the Calipari thing, which is just get the top tier talent that you can get. Don't worry about the portal. And then if you look at it back when UofL started doing the senior, whatever it is, I can't remember what they called it. Instead of doing one and done, it was the and one or something.
Succeed and proceed.
Something, that kind of thing.
Succeed and proceed.
And Rick Pitino was kind of doing that decently well. He got some good guys, Damian Lee, people like that. He was able to get them. And that was at a time, of course, I think Bruiser Flint was Damian Lee's coach at the time. That's what Calipari was. I'm anti this. I don't want to use in these senior, fifth year transfers or anything like that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to ruin these programs. And that's a big part of the Calipari issue is he doesn't succeed with that. He does very well when it comes to getting the talent right out of high school and getting the top tier guys there. Kenny Payne, if you look at this recruiting class and the way that this thing was supposed to work, and when the situation with the NIL, he came in with NIL and fought NIL tooth and nail, which was fucking perplexing to me when you have a guy who literally is supposed to be like, I viewed him as the Calipari bag man, like the guy who closes the deals, not saying he drops the bag, but at some point there, money gets the job done, whatever it is. Yep. And he came in acting like he didn't want to do this. I'm better than this. I'm this great coach. You have to trust me. I know what's going to get you money in the NBA. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't work that way. Nowadays, it's about getting your money when you can get it. You don't know if you're going to be injured tomorrow and never be able to walk or play again.
What's interesting to me, though, is that I think UofL fans agreed with that mentality back in like 2013, right? Mm-hmm. But back before the portal was a thing. Yeah. I remember when you all won the national championship that didn't exist and now it's vacated and it doesn't count. But when you all did that, I remember you all. Yeah. But when I remember you all were like,
Tennessee has 200 level
banners.
1 violations.
Oh, yeah.
It was like some insane number like that. And they just had to sit out a season they're good.
But the thing is you all took pride in the fact that you all won with players that had been there for a while. Right. Like you all basically came to Golgi. Yeah. So you all like came at UK fans as saying like, yeah, you guys have this whole one and done culture. You might have won with that in 2012, but it means more when the players stick around and they build a culture. And so I think that you all,
I don't know that it means more, but it's significantly more impressive when you have players more, not elite tier players winning a national championship over those people that are recognized as elite tier. Obviously,
the thing is,
I don't think obviously going to do.
I just think the thing is nowadays, like I do think that, and even though I hate UofL fans most of the time, and I do actually agree with that mentality that it does actually feel like it means more because you've come to know the players, you've come to,
they won, not he won. They won.
You build a relationship with them. You build a relationship with these players. You feel like you come to know them from a personality standpoint. Where now it's like hired guns.
Right.
But guess what, Kenny Payne? That's the game.
Yeah.
That's the game. So you either adjust or you die.
Adapt or die.
You adapt or die. And that's why I think Nick Saban is the king. You look at how he played football back like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He completely plays a completely different brand of football because he's like, the game has changed.
Right.
If I don't change, I won't win.
Yeah.
And I think that is why Cal is struggling. But I think just hearing those comments, even though I agree with him and like, I agree with his concept, he's not going to win games with that mentality.
Can we talk about how he said necessary evil? And my biggest
that was honest for him.
But
it was honest.
It was honest, but my issue is it's not sane because you spent an entire season hating on every player on that team outside of like 2 or 3 guys.
Right.
And you wanted them all to bleep out. You wanted them all to leave. How do you do that without the transfer portal?
Right.
I think I think we need to keep going.
Yeah.
Because we could talk about this forever, but I think he's already, and you're going to get to this, I think too.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's already setting up his future excuses.
Yeah.
He's already kind of like setting the table for.
The university's helping him too.
Yeah.
So that's an issue. So let's move it on to sound number 2, Kenny Payne, and kind of talking about his biggest regrets from the last season. And just listen.
What was the toughest part for you personally about last season that finished with a 4-28 record?
Just that, obviously there was so many people that wanted, the program to be better. So many people that need the program to be better. And we couldn't get it to where we needed to get it to. And it's not anybody's fault.
It's your fault.
Yes.
It was just the cards that we've all dealt. And it's part of the process of, going through all the investigations from the NCAA and not being able to get the type of players that deserve to be in this program, that this program was built on.
What point guard?
There's a lot of different dynamics but we made it through and it was hard. But, I now know, people talk about leadership all the time, and you have all these great leaders, whether they're in business, coaching, football, basketball, whatever it is. Leadership is leadership. But I've learned probably the biggest thing that I've learned from this is that leadership isn't when it's good. Mm-hmm. It's when it's bad. And how do you keep young people engaged? How do you keep the people you work with engaged and having hope that it's going to be better?
Kenny's low T energy is just fucking killing me.
That was my biggest takeaway from that clip is, gosh, he has no charisma at all. Like, he is putting me to sleep.
The most impressive part of that audio actually is that he's next to a microphone, because if you listen to any of his stuff,
trailing off,
he's over here. Man.
What am I supposed to do?
He's over here talking, not talking into the microphone. He's sitting 7 feet back from the microphone. And I don't know how he's supposed to hype anybody up.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to come with more than charisma, I would hope, when he's talking to recruits or even his players, because that was my biggest takeaway. I was like, dude, are you okay?
Can you wake up?
Dude, did you just take a Xanax before you came here? Like, what is happening?
But that's why I think that doesn't work as a head coach. That works as a lower tier guy who is he's the good cop. That's good cop. Good cop can be the chill, down to earth guy.
It's gonna be
calm him
okay,
down,
man.
whatever. You got to have a bad cop. You got to have a guy who's hyped up. Look at his staff. He's got Swoosh Smith and Josh Jameson and the people who are all wearing Nike stuff every chance they get. I hate all of them.
I don't blame him.
Then
I don't blame him. I'd be wearing Nike every time.
Yeah, it's cool if you have a fucking contract with Adidas and with Louisville. The entire time through this process and everything he's saying, not once does this man take any sort of accountability on himself as a coach. And how many times, how are you going to sit in front of anybody as a leader? He talks about leadership as leadership, which means fucking nothing.
It's when we're losing 28 games.
It's nobody's fault.
So first off, he says that this was the cards that they were dealt. And I'm sorry, that's just factually not true. You come into the spot, and I remember because when Chris Mack was
you all told him you don't want these cards.
But
Y'all had the T-shirts made, and you said you don't want these cards.
We don't want these cards.
We really do not want these
You're
cards.
right. I don't want these cards.
But this was a decade. Well, that was a decade prior. But when it comes to him, he got in. So we all knew that he was going to be the head coach of Louisville in February. of that year, of 2022. And he pretends like he didn't get in until June or whatever. That's a fucking lie. We all knew that he was going to be the head coach in February when Chris Mack was
You need
ousted.
the Maury sound?
And
that was a lie.
The lie detector determined.
That was a lie.
That was a lie.
Was that Maury?
Yeah, that was Maury.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like I need older Maury. That was younger Maury. I need older, gravelly voice Maury.
Okay, yeah.
I had spent some great summers watching Maury growing up.
So where does he blame himself for his coaching failures? Well, first off, you come into Louisville, we're told about all these great players you're going to get. He talked about Sky Clark that he was going to get back then. He didn't get him. He went to Illinois, did whatever he did. Now he's here now, and he is
got some game time experience. You skipped that. You skipped the learning year. You
So,
just went and sent
we'll
him
get
to
him next
training.
year.
You just got
Right.
free training.
Exactly.
Right.
That was genius by Kenny
Basic
Payne.
training, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So he fails to get all these players. He doesn't get a single point guard. You play the entire season without a point guard. You talk about how bad that is. I mean, maybe you get a point guard and maybe it's a little bit better. But the coaching mistakes, like, I'm sorry, no matter how bad you are, the worst Louisville teams, there is no reason that you lose to Bellarmine ever. And there's no reason you lose to Leanne Rhymes or Lenore Rhyme or whatever it is, a Division II school by 10 points. Like it's, and not
And it was
only
a down year for the ACC too. It's like it was an
It really
ACC
is.
down year, and you still came away with 4
you barely
wins.
beat Clemson, and you ruined Clemson's season. You ruined their chance to get in the NCAA tournament because of that. It's just frustrating. The accountability issues. The like I didn't make mistakes here, losing 3 games in a row to piss poor teams that have no future, that have no chance, that had no chance throughout the season, and you looked about as abysmal as possible. Let's just move it forward because there's a lot more we can get through when it comes to this. Let's play the third sound we have here on KP. He is going to be talking about would he do anything different last season?
Kenny, is there anything you would do over again differently if you had the chance last year?
No, I just think I was dealt a set of cards that was probably a little bit unfortunate. We knew it wouldn't be great, but I can't say that I would do anything different. We practice hard every day. We went after the top players, and we had sanctions on our head that people looked at us and said they're going to get the death penalty.
No, nobody ever thought we were getting the death penalty. Nobody did.
Getting people to see the vision of where we want to take this program. And it wasn't until after the season, think about it, we won 4 games.
That's
and
you.
we have a top
You did
10
that.
recruiting class walking in the doors on paper. That says a lot about
Oh, he's hanging his
not just me, but this program, my staff, what this program means to a lot of people, that we can have a semblance of success coming off what we came off of.
So again, you're right. He's not taking accountability, which is a problem. He's got to do that.
Well, here's my issue: is he comes in and he says that everybody thought there were all these sanctions we were having and getting, and we're going to be on the death penalty. Nobody, unless you're just listening, he's only listening to former like UK fans and people that he's friends with that are like, they're going to be on the death penalty. Nobody thought Louisville was really getting the death penalty. That does not happen nowadays. There's too much money in college basketball and college programs like Louisville for the NCAA to really give a death penalty. There's no chance. What they thought is maybe 1 or potentially 2 postseason bans, and that didn't happen. So he's going to tell me these guys that they couldn't have, with NIL, that you couldn't go in and go get at least 1 or 2 point guards. And I'm not just saying you have to go get a 5-star. You don't have to go get the top tier talent. What you need to go get is just a guy who knows how to dribble a ball up and down the court and who is usable. I'm talking about mid-tier talent, and that's my main issue when it comes to Kenny Payne. Is a lot of times the complaints when it comes to him as a coach and when it comes to him as a recruiter is a lot of the things that people saying, well, where are you going to go get? Are you going to go get a Krzyzewski, a Patino, or a guy like that, like of that caliber, or Calipari? No, I want average. I want an average bleeping coach. I want a guy who knows how to coach the game and a guy who knows exactly like just simple stuff. Simple call simple plays. Know when to call a timeout at the end of a game when you have.
Well, Coach Cal did not do that either.
Okay,
But he can recruit.
Yes.
that's true.
So what is Kenny Payne's strengths and what are his weaknesses? What are you trying to say?
Well, we don't know yet.
He
hasn't had
shouldn't
a
be a
fair
head
chance
coach
yet.
is what you're
no,
saying.
he hasn't had a chance yet. We have to find out.
One
Either way.
issue is He also said we knew that it was going to be bad going into the season. That was a lie.
That was a lie.
That was not true. That was not the line coming into the season. The hype around Kenny Payne was built up. I knew it wasn't going to be true because I've been hating on Kenny Payne since the beginning. And yes, I've been critical of him, but because I don't think he can coach. I don't think he knows how to do it. People came in saying that he was going to go in, get all these players. We were going to get the bleeping ball rolling. They're going to go beat UK because Kenny Payne won those games. DJ Wagner is going to be a Kenny Payne player. And because they also hired Milt, who was selling couches or whatever like that. All these things, they hired him on the staff. And I don't care if he's not a coach. He's still wasting money on the staff. I'm sorry. We don't need to run a charity. One day, UNICEF may get into the coaching business, but until that day, Kenny Payne does not need to be at Louisville. And right now, that's my biggest issue is they look at this and they don't even want to shoot for average. They're okay with mediocrity. And that's kind of the one thing you're seeing too from the things that he's saying, the things that he's allowed to say is he's coming in here and saying, well, look how bad it was. Look at all these. It's excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. And it's not actually, hey, there's things as a coach I should do. I expect better. I expect better of myself. We're going to do it better this coming season. That's all you have to say. Like, even if it's not true and you're going to bleep up again, which I'm pretty sure he is, at least make it sound like you have some semblance of expectations.
I think it's all fair. And what I like about you and what I like about your passion is my biggest beef with UofL fans in general is I do feel like, again, maybe this is just my biased take, but I feel like a lot of UofL fans go into hiding when you guys aren't good. Yeah. And so when the team's not good, I feel like there's so many UofL fans that are just like, yeah, my life is more important than sports, sports, whatever. I'll check it out if I want to. But if the minute UofL's good, they're all
during the 9-win season. That's what he said the entire season.
What?
It was a joke.
That was a joke because I watched. It was obviously a joke, but I watched.
This thing's more important.
Even the COVID year where we were like the worst team in UK history, basically. Yeah. I watched every single game. And I will always watch you every single game. And I think most UK fans do watch every single game and live and die by it, where I do think a lot of UofL fans, not you, and that's what I appreciate about you right now.
That's what I appreciate about
they go under this cave.
Yeah.
But the minute they're good, they're like pumping their chest and throwing all this out. And I'm like,
well,
where were you? Where were you like 2 years ago when
you wasn't up in the gym with Kenny Payne?
You wasn't with me in the gym getting the shots up.
But
I like that you still care this much, and it makes me happy.
My actual true, like when I think of personally, is don't tell me you're a fan of a team if you're not angry and like struggling and watching these games, even though you know what's going to happen. Like, the one thing I should be doing, especially now that gambling is going to be legal through the entire season in Kentucky, is fading Kenny Payne. And that's the smartest thing. I don't know if Las Vegas will catch on. They started to catch on.
Last year. Last year, you could have made so much money betting against you.
A little bit later in the
season, yes. But the beginning of the season,
Bobby Petrino,
you could have made a killing.
February.
I've seen Bobby Petrino, and when Kenny Payne started, I knew fade time. It was time to fade. And I'm going to be fading Kenny Payne throughout the season. You know what? I hope, I'm telling you, I'm going to bet a ton of money, but I hope I lose money because then that at least proves, he actually can, figure out something. You're too cheap to
bet. You're not going to bet shit.
You're not going to do it. But you have to bet. You have to bet on your lock of the week. The lock of the week, you have to put money on it.
Agreed.
But going to that point and talking about kind of like caring about your team, I bought a treadmill for one reason, because I was tired of wasting time watching UK play basketball and being so pissed off that I was so unproductive that I bought a treadmill just to be like, I have to watch the game, but I need to at least be productive while I do it. And I bought it for that sole reason.
I bought a second screen.
A second screen. There you go. But anyways.
So I play video games on the other one.
All right. So what we got? Let's get to the next. All right, go ahead.
There's one thing I do want to touch on. And my big part of my frustration and my vitriol does go at the university and the way they sit with this right now. The people in charge, I honestly think they don't care when we are having the worst fucking season since the Depression, since 19 and then also since 1940, 41,
Justin
42, whatever.
Knows his UofL history. He does not know his United States. I know it wasn't the Depression.
I just want to say that this is the Great Depression that we're living in right now. But since the
I'm pretty depressed.
I know this is a depression. But since the 1940s and World War II, where players that were playing there were guys that didn't get fucking drafted, that didn't have to get drafted to fight in a war.
Right.
That's what we have. And like, that's how bad it was. It's as bad as, some white dudes.
I'm going to kind of retract what I said a little bit though on this is that like I feel like I'm a pessimistic fan when it comes to UK. Like I feel like I'm fairly pessimistic, but like I think I'm realistic where like I have doubts about Coach Cal and his coaching abilities and even this season, but I feel like I'm the kid that got, diagnosed with cancer and I'm like, oh gosh, I really hope that everything turns out okay. I think you're the kid that gets diagnosed with cancer and you're just like, I want the sweet release of death now.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's it.
I think that was a terrible analogy.
No. Because I think it's not a great one. But
there's a tweet you made. You're like the kid who goes on Make-A-Wish because you're going to Disney World because you ain't going there.
Did you pull up the tweet?
I have a tweet. No, I don't know if this is a tweet that you are referring to, but I looked at a tweet you sent and you said, can't wait to get this next season over with.
Yeah.
Like the season hasn't started and you're already like, just kill me now. Where at least like, I'm like, yeah, this season
can I lose a year of my life just so that way we can fast forward?
My take is like I don't have high hopes for this season, but I have hopes. Like maybe they'll surprise me. Where you're like,
I'm gonna run along that treadmill.
There are no hopes to be had when it comes to this. I don't know how you can watch.
Give me the sweet release of death today.
Well, like what part of you can watch last season and say this guy, if you give him the right team, he knows how to coach him and win.
So
there's no way.
Since I was probably 14 years old, if not younger, I have watched every UofL game. Last season, I just gave up. And you're talking about me when you're talking about you're talking about me when you're talking about the people who are not as invested as Justin, don't have the passion. Yes, I'm a UofL fan, but like I have to make life choices about what I invest my time and energy and effort into. And I just could not commit to caring about UofL anymore when it's complete, absolute, utter garbage and depression for myself.
It separates the boys from the men.
Yeah,
it does. And I'm a man.
Sometimes I need that anger.
Well, I don't need it. I don't need it.
Okay, the season's going on. I didn't want it to lessen. I didn't want to be able to like look at Kenny Payne and be like, oh, this is fine. He's a good guy. He's trying. I wanted to watch those games so I knew what the fuck he was doing to my university and my program that I cared about.
I knew in the conversations at the workplace, like having to deal with, UK fans who are just laughing at me that
they didn't.
I don't think we are. I was gonna say I didn't.
Oh, there were
when I talked to UofL fans. Maybe when I talk to UofL fans in my workplace, I'm just like, yeah, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like that sucks. Yeah, and that's weird to me because usually I'm like,
he was our dude.
Yeah, you guys think you're good. Yeah, you guys think but I want to be like, yeah, you think you're good. Wait till we play you guys like December, blah, blah, blah. Not
that's what's fun.
Yeah, that sucks that Bellarmine right down the road just beat you. That's a bummer.
Got a hell of a coach though.
The main point that I want to get to was really the university is also raising ticket prices for the season, which is fucking insane to me.
Well, inflation.
They're no inflation. Nobody's going to those games. So don't tell me you're raising ticket prices for nobody's going to those games. Okay, maybe game one, you have people be like, maybe they're not going to be as bad as last year. Let's go watch them. Let's go watch these players try. We got to support them. Maybe we can will them to a win over fucking Bellarmine.
Can you talk like that for the rest of the podcast?
At least they sell alcohol at the games.
Yeah.
They're not doing that with SEC?
They aren't. Well, now they are. Finally.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the fourth. The fourth clip, which is going to be about expectations on the season.
What are realistic goals and expectations for Louisville during the 23-24 season?
That's a great question. That's a question that can't be answered by numbers, by a number of wins. But it's a question that can be answered by the competitiveness of my team and how they go out and fight every single day, and we see what happens. But I can't put a number on it. I can't put.
Is it more than 4?
We first have to pass the eye test, and then we have to go out and see what our spirit is as a unit. And we won't know that until January, February. But I'm hoping that, you know, and I try to make the summers hard, but I'm hoping that we go out and just fight for everything that we earn and that we get and
everything we earn
and have fun doing it, because we're rebuilding a program
you destroyed, a program that you destroyed. And that's my biggest problem here is he's going to come in and say, we're rebuilding. You didn't. Okay.
Rebuilding.
They weren't good. They weren't good the season before.
That was an absolute dumpster fire because of the stuff that they pushed Chris Mack out. You had guys trying to coach the players who didn't care anymore because of that. 13 wins. They still won 13 games with that. And then he comes in and he says, rebuilding a program he destroyed, or rebuilding a program that he destroyed. No teams 4-28. I don't need to rehash that once again. It's unbelievable to me that he can continue to talk like this and continue to treat a job that is paying him $3.5 million, somewhere between $3 and $4 million a season to be the head coach of the university of one of the top basketball programs in the nation and treat it like he's coaching a children's rec league basketball game. I want them to go out there and have fun.
Yeah.
I want to see them try. I want to see them put in effort.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If we get better at the end of the season than we're at the beginning of the season, we've won.
Last season was the season for trying. Last season was I want to see effort. Last season I want to see that. I'm sorry. And we do not get to reset the expectations of this season because of last season. I'm sorry. You don't get the benefit. If this is year one, you don't get to go back next year or at the end of the season. And if you win 15 games, which I don't think he's going to do that, but if you win 15 games, you can't tell me, wow, that's better than 4. No, this is year one.
15 is better than 4.
That's only 2 games
facts.
better than the 13 win season the 2 years prior. You don't get to say, you don't get to compare yourself to yourself. You can't do, well, this is better than what I did the first year. No, we're comparing you to the expectations of the program, not the expectations of Kenny Payne, never been a head coach, doesn't know what he's doing, can barely recruit.
All right. I just want to say this. And the reason I think that this resounded with me is because as a UK football fan, I sympathize with what he was saying. And again, I know your all's expectations are way higher than what you
Louisville basketball and Kentucky football are not the same.
That's a fair
He wants
counterpoint.
It to be. He wants
No,
it to
that's
be.
a fair counterpoint. What are you going to do? You
No,
believe me?
keep going.
That's a fair counterpoint, and I understand that. I think where what he was saying in my mind made sense is that if you look at Mark Stoops' first few years at UK, they were not winning a ton of games, but you could tell by the way they played. You could tell by the plays that were being called. You could tell by his demeanor on the sidelines. Yes, we're still not where we want to be,
Progress.
but there is something being built here. Like they are actually fighting. The coach actually is getting red in the face and looks like he's going to explode. That's the thing is like, yes, UK football was not winning games the way that we wanted them to, but we could see it on the horizon. And I think that could still be true at UofL to where if you are still playing like ranked teams and you're playing them down to the wire, you're seeing progress in the sense of the energy from the players. I think that you could still be happy with a season that doesn't have a ton of wins if you're seeing progress in the style of play, like an exciting style of play, an excited fan base, like motivated players. That's my only takeaway is that I think that you could have a successful season without a ton of wins.
Explain to me what last season was then at this point. I'm sorry. I'm not willing.
Abortion.
It wasn't abortion. I did say that. They're dismembering it.
It's not legal in Kentucky
arm.
anymore, guys. Can't do that.
But like,
No, I don't think I agree with you. I don't think you should
compare.
compare. I don't think that should be the benchmark. I agree with
Okay.
you. Like last season should be a burn the tape seat. Like, you know how when you have a game that is so bad, you don't even look at
can't
the film.
learn anything
you burn
from
the
this.
film.
Yeah.
I think that was a burn the film season to where you shouldn't compare anything to that season.
If you had a burn the film year of work at your job,
Yeah, you wouldn't be there anymore.
yeah, and
That's true.
you got paid that kind of money, you should not be there.
No, that's
If I
true.
made my salary and I did,
No,
I wouldn't be there.
I would,
Okay,
and
yeah.
I do
How
think.
can you justify it for somebody who makes quadruple billion?
And I
times more than
agree.
I do?
I think that he is already on the hot seat because of that. Like, again,
I don't think so.
I don't think he is.
Well, maybe
I don't
he's
think-
not, but
I wish he was.
I don't think it's even slightly. I went through the entire season last season saying they have to fire him. Like there's no possible way if you're Josh Hurd or if you're anybody in the university that you can watch this and say, one, this is acceptable, and two, we can run it back for another season. People came in, and it's funny because like I'm known for hating on Kenny Payne. People didn't know, like I felt this way about Scott Satterfield, and he won like 6 games a season or 7 games.
At least.
Like he won 6-7 games.
Again, I think that proves the point that you shouldn't judge it on wins and losses, right? I think you should judge it on the product on the field. Are they close? Are they competing? Are they trying? Because Satterfield was winning some games, but in a weak ACC, and they didn't look good. They were limping to those wins.
The issue I think you're coming from it with a rational point of view, and I'm not saying I'm not rational, but what I'm saying is I think people are approaching this topic like when we talk about the University of Louisville, we talk about the basketball program that we are asking, that people like me are asking, like that I expect a Final Four championship next season. Like, that's what I'm coming with. Like I'm saying, measuring wins and losses that way. No, I'm expecting make the tournament. That's what I'm expecting.
So that was going to be my question. If you were being asked that, if he had answered that question the way you would like him to have answered it, what would have been the answer?
It would be, yes, you can measure it in wins and losses.
And what would that number be?
It doesn't have to be a specific number. It has to be we made the tournament.
Okay.
We were competitive. We looked like a basketball team. And if he wants to say it that way, but when you say you can't go from 4-28 and say that wins and losses don't matter, that you can't count it in wins. I'm sorry. At the University of Louisville or Kentucky, anything under 15 wins, 16 wins a season, I'll put it at that number, is completely unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Like, can you imagine if Calipari showed up and won 17 games next season? Like
he's done that before.
Okay, 10 lost Cal.
And he's still here. And he's still here.
But like what I'm saying is like if he did this, but UK fans would be losing their minds. Louisville fans were losing their mind about Rick Pitino trying to push him out the door.
So if
he hasn't won more than 4 games in his entire head coaching career.
If he had
John Calipari's allowed to lose a couple in a couple seasons.
You build up enough goodwill.
Right.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of that goodwill, though. I mean, he had it, and it's slowly starting to
that's fair.
Run out.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, that's like fair. 48, that's fair. 49 million of that, right?
No, I mean, that's fair because honestly, like as bad as the 2013 season was, where we lost, we didn't even make the tournament. We had just won the national championship. So, yeah, you're going to have a little bit more patience when that happens.
Just final comments when it comes to this. The only thing I really have to say is, like, to me, this is a textbook example of how to kill a program. Like, I know you think like I'm joking.
I don't think you're joking. I don't think you're joking for a second.
I absolutely feel like I'm looking at the death of Louisville basketball. Like, and people say that's being dramatic.
So you're saying Kenny Payne is cancer?
I think he is a cancer, absolutely. But like the way that they do it, the way that they've operated, there are no expectations. There's propaganda being put out there when it comes to Kenny Payne and like what's his fault, what's not his fault. Blind loyalty to hire a guy that is a former player of the university, which I think overall in any sport is the dumbest thing I've ever seen anybody do. And the dumbest notion of we need to have our guy. And it's not just this that's happening in where like you do hiring Shire, but Shire actually is a competent coach. I don't know how good he is. He's competent. I mean, he didn't completely crater the program yet. But at the same time, like I've seen they did it at Juventus. They did it with like all over the sports with football, soccer, basketball, anything. They're doing it now. And I just don't get it. I don't get why you have to have a guy who is a former player or whatever, who came from your university. It's stupid.
It's romantic, but it's stupid.
It's stupid.
Right.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen anybody do.
They have a proven track record to be eligible to coach at UofL.
Which is why you go coach somewhere else.
Right.
Which is why you take that DePaul job, but you probably didn't take the DePaul job because you knew you couldn't do it. You got University of Louisville. You thought maybe it'll work out. Maybe you'll get those top tier talent. It's not working out. It's not going to work out. I'd be happy to sit here at the end of the season and say that I was wrong. I will eat the crow if I have to. And then finally, Butch Beard, Jerry Ease, I hope you're happy. That's it.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do think that he has to show some improvement or else I know you don't think that he's on the hot seat. I do. I really do. I think that you mentioned the Kenny Payne fans and like mafia or group, militia, whatever you want to call it, militia. I don't think that they are very large in number.
They are. I mean,
they may be vocal. I don't think they're large in number. And so I think he's going to have to show some improvement. I think you're in not a win-win situation, but in your floor is either.
I'm happy because he's fired.
Ceiling is the floor.
I think your floor in this scenario is either you have a terrible season again and Kenny Payne's fired and then you're happy, or he shows improvement and he doesn't get fired and then you should be happy because he showed improvement. So I don't know.
I've had that improvement won't be well enough.
Yeah, maybe not.
I've had these discussions with people in the know, and like, while it's not exactly put out there, the notion is this is year one, which is what we talked about. Next year would be the year he gets 3 years, which to me, if he does 4-28 or something similar again, what? Like, we have plenty of people that are not renewing season tickets right now. If you take the big donors and they actually speak with their money,
yep.
I would hope they're smart enough to say we cannot endorse this. Like, we cannot afford to let them continue to do this. We have to buy them out, and we have to make a move. We have to make a change. Go after a real coach. It's unbelievable. We'll see what happens at the end of the season, but that's kind of it.
As always, time will tell. And next podcast, hopefully, maybe we'll get into some Kentucky news, some Kentucky talk.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be something exciting.
It won't be completely as depressing. It may be a little bit negative because I think, more of a realist / pessimist, but not to the extent that I want to just roll over and die and, want the season to end before it starts, but we'll see. Time will tell. So that concludes our UK UofL segment. I think we've had a lot of serious talk, so let's get into some nonsense. We're going to do Dude Debate. Bringing back Dude Debate. Last time I instructed you guys on how the proper way to approach a urinal at work. You go over the belt, obviously, and
insane. I still can't believe you really do that.
And so this
have you changed since then?
Why would I change when I'm? Do you know what's funny?
Have you tried it?
And I've tried it before, and it takes. Do you know what's funny?
Oh my
Do you know what's
God.
funny is I just realized like this past week I approached the urinal at the same time as one of my coworkers, and I noticed that my stream started way before his, and I was like, well, of course he's still over there fishing out his little wee wee, where I am the most efficient. And I save time.
I unfurl it.
How old was this guy, Dwight?
I don't know.
10, 20 more years older than you?
Doesn't matter.
I imagine that would be why. It
you have
takes a
your
little time for him to get his prostate.
Guys, you
Did
all
you have your pants around your ankles with your butt cheeks hanging out?
I've already won this debate. I've already won that debate. This dude debate, though, is
not all that
similar.
different.
It's
Yeah.
similar because we're talking about something that Brian wants to talk about, which is bathroom etiquette. So, Brian, tell us a little bit about it.
So I don't call it bathroom etiquette. I call it restroom etiquette
Oh, sorry.
because if I insinuate a bathroom, I'm talking about my house.
True.
When
Facts.
I'm talking about a restroom etiquette, I'm talking about we're in a public place.
Yep.
We're in a place where other people also utilize the restroom. And by default, I'm avoiding it.
Not me.
There is one place that it is okay to poop, and it's called my house.
Wrong.
And there's nowhere else that I would rather poop.
Don't
And
shit
that-
where you eat.
The only time I don't eat in the restroom unless I'm really hungry and there's beat ups. But no, so restroom etiquette. I think there's a vast difference in what we think is socially acceptable just at this table, let alone the worldwide. And so I want to get your all's perspective so that way I can understand how right I am and how wrong you are. So when it comes to restroom etiquette, I want to know, when is it okay for you to use the public restroom? For me, it's when you have to piss, and that's it.
that a
If you have to
joke?
shit, you're going home. Like,
What if you don't make it? What if you can't make
So-
it? What if
so-
you just started a 9-hour workday and you really have to take a crap?
You know why I never have to worry about that?
You wear a diaper.
I wake up in the morning and I take a shit. That is the only proper way to do it, because you got to release the bowel so that way you know that you're not going to have the opportunity for you to have to run in the middle of a meeting, run in the middle of a phone call while you're working. You got to be productive. You're there for the man. You're not there for you. So I'm just saying there is no proper time at work ever to take a shit.
So what
'cause
you're
don't have
basically
time
what
for
you're
that.
saying is that the men's restroom at work should not have a toilet. It should only have urinals. Essentially.
Dude, we're going to get there. I would argue that if there was a urinal, I could shit at work, but we haven't gotten there yet. So,
Repeat that, please.
yeah, you're going to understand a little bit. So again, when is it okay
was a urinal.
for you
Only
to,
had a urinal. You
Guys,
should.
we're
shit
not
at work.
there yet. Calm down. We got to build up the case. So I'm asking you, when is it okay for you to use a public restroom?
whenever I have to use the restroom. Is that a joke?
That's
is that a joke?
No, that is a logical premise for all of my
If
other
the
questions.
restroom is open,
What about
and I
you?
have to use it, I will use
He's
it.
already moving past Dwight.
Justin?
That was a dumb question. That was an easy
It's
one.
funny because Dwight's looking at me, at Brian, and talking about Brian like he's insane.
Right.
That is the dumb question.
And it's funny because I will tell you, me personally, I will do everything to avoid having to use a public bathroom to poop. I will not poop in public bathrooms unless I am at the edge and there's nothing stopping it and it's coming out. If I'm about to crap my pants, I will use a public toilet. But if I am, I'm taking all the toilet paper and putting it on the seat. Like I'm patting that baby down, like it's protecting, which I guess they also say is actually worse for it because the germs are more easily transferred over rather than porcelain. I don't know, but a lot of those are plastic and they're cheap anyway when you go in public toilets. But no, I actually agree with Brian. I will do everything in my ability to not take a deuce in public. I will only do it at home where I'm comfortable.
I'll pee outside. I don't care.
Yeah.
But taking a dump.
Well, it's very different circumstances. I know other men's dirty ass cheeks have been on those toilet seats.
Ugh.
I don't want to sit on it. I don't want to feel what it. I just don't want it. I don't trust it. And then a lot of those, you look at them and they don't clean it properly.
Let me ask you a question.
I've been there, and it's been warm,
Let me ask
and
you a
it's a
question
problem.
just to make sure that I'm on the same page as you guys. So we're talking etiquette. Are you saying that you don't go number 2 in a public restroom because it is rude, or are you saying you don't use it because it's dirty?
I think it's disgusting.
So both.
No.
You think it's rude? Which
No.
one is it? Really?
Obviously, it's because it's disgusting. Because
Your
I
place of
have
work
no
must be
idea
different than
whose
mine.
ass has been on that. When was the last time it was cleaned? And even if it looks clean, you know it's not.
Well, we
So-
said restroom etiquette though. This is not just work though. This is period.
No, it's
I'm talking
period.
about anywhere.
It's
I'm talking
period.
about a park.
I do-
Like, if
I'm
we're
talking about the
doing
movie
work,
theater.
my current situation is it's my car. Because I don't have
you
a
have
place of
bottles?
business. I have a urinal that I use. We've actually
For your poop?
We talked about a urinal.
Because we're getting
it's
there.
a urinal.
We're getting there.
Okay.
So I do the majority of my work at work, my bathroom work at work. And I will say it's very clean because we have not recovered from COVID. So there's not a lot of people in my office, especially in the morning. And that's when I always, 9 o'clock, I'm clockwork. 9 o'clock on the dot, gotta poop.
What the hell are you doing
And-
at home when you're getting ready for work? Not pooping? So that way you can get into the office.
and he's cruising the sheets.
Yep.
Here's the thing.
Oh my God.
9 o'clock on the dot, I got to take a poop. There's at least one stall that has not been used. And I know that because there's still the little blue tint of the water there. So I know that it's clean. It's cleaner than my bathroom at home. Why would I not?
Do you
That says a lot.
Do you put down a protective barrier?
It's not. It's clean. Someone just cleaned that bathroom. That toilet.
Do you put down a protective barrier or do you just sit ass cheek down?
It depends. If I'm the first and I know I'm the first for the day, I will just
Somebody
go
else has
completely
been
clean.
on there. Like,
No,
do you
it's blue.
do you think
It's
that-
blue.
but
Do you think the person that came before me put blue cleaner
No,
in
I'm
the
talking
toilet?
about the actual seat. Do you trust the sanitation process of that seat?
We have
As Dwight's like
an
grabbing
A
himself, he's got crabs.
we have an A+ janitorial service at my work. So,
Are you sure about that? Do you talk to them?
You sure about that?
You sure
No,
about
I'm
that?
I'm being real. So I don't know that you've ever cleaned a toilet in your life.
Of
let
course
alone
I have.
You've cleaned a toilet for a job place? Like
No, of course not.
exactly. So
What do I look
at the
like?
movie theater,
Yeah.
when I worked at the movie
Oh, those are
theater,
disgusting.
when you're an usher, you clean everything and you clean the toilet. Guess what? You don't clean the toilet because you're an
I see.
usher and you get paid
I
minimum
think-
wage and
yeah.
you don't give a
What you do
shit.
is this. What
I
you do is
think
you do
that-
the spray down, and then you take the dirty ass bull
Yes.
brush and you wipe it on it. And you're like,
Wherever
"It's good."
you want it, you
There
put
go.
it in, you dip it around, you go on the outside.
Yeah,
it's fine.
There's a couple pubes that are little hairs that'll residue that'll stay on there.
Dwight's upper class, higher level
yeah.
has jaded him to reality.
What we have here is a vast difference in level of cleanliness in our office. Like my office is clean. Brian works in government where they're just doing nasty stuff.
I love
Justin's
our
line of business is he's camped out in a parking lot, so he's probably using a Kroger or a Walmart. It's gross.
Do you remember?
I have some great friends who work simultaneously with me as a janitorial staff. They're good people. I know they're not cleaning my bathroom well.
Anyways, to answer your question, but going back to your original question, are you talking only about number 2? Are you talking about in
yes,
like overall?
I will pee all over the sink in a bathroom.
Okay.
Don't care at all because I'm not touching anything.
Do you remember Rat Race,
but
the
pooping?
movie?
No, it's not going to happen. Yes. Why?
Where they're trying to get the money and they're all driving the speed at the end.
Okay.
And there's a family at the end and the kid has to take a deuce.
Yeah,
and they make him put his ass cheeks out the window.
Oh, I've done
and
that.
he's just going while the car's driving.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what I do for my.
That's cleaner than going to the restroom.
what I have to do.
But to answer your question, as far as we're talking etiquette.
Yeah.
So you all don't think that it's rude to take a crap in a public restroom.
Well,
you just think it's gross for yourself.
I think it's disgusting.
I think I'm more concerned about the fact that it's so disgusting that I can't care if it's rude or not. The rudeness is coming.
It's coming
with these questions. But so, I mean, I think we've done pretty well with this first question. Second question. Do you even worth it? Oh my gosh.
Do you even worth?
Do you even worth? Is it even worth risking to wash your hands?
I had the same question as you, and I think it depends on what you've done.
So if I pissed, I'm not washing my hands. I'm walking the fuck out.
Here's my rule of thumb.
My dick is clean.
Here's my rule of thumb. If I take a piss and there's not another person in the restroom when I have pissed, I will leave the restroom without.
You're so honest. That's correct.
I will leave the restroom without washing my hands. But I am a clean person. I am a little OCD. I will use hand sanitizer. Like when I get back to my office, I will use hand sanitizer.
Because they're everywhere because of COVID.
And I think honestly, I feel more clean after hand sanitizer because if I wash my hands, I still have to touch the sink knob or the door handle or whatever. So I will use hand sanitizer.
Okay.
But if I take a dump or number 2, if there's another person in the restroom with me, I will do the wash my hands. I'm a good guy.
Can you hear how long I'm running this water? I'm clearly watching my hands very well.
There's been a million times where I have literally waved my hand in front of the sensor to let the water fall just so the person knows and then not touch the water.
I want as far away from this couch right now as possible.
So you wash your hands every time?
But I understand what you're thinking of. Is it worth or whatever? I find ways to do where, I get the soap out and then elbows and all this stuff where I don't actually touch the things that other people who have defecated on their hands and touched whatever.
You're touching a lot more stuff than I'm touching by washing your hands.
I know, I understand, but I need to have the soap in the water to at least feel better about myself.
Hand sanitizer.
And then I have that in the car. I'll do that afterward as well. I need to double up. COVID.
I need to double up.
COVID got me. I need it all at this point.
I got you. During COVID, I did wash my hands more, but now that we're back to normal, now that we know that that was all just made to that we know
it was fake.
COVID was a whole thing to get Trump out of office, and so now that's done.
That's true, but don't worry.
Now we can avoid it.
Now that the Ukraine war is going on, and we're avoiding talking about COVID ever again.
Avoid it. You avoid washing your hands if you can.
If I shit, I'm sorry, I have to.
But you don't shit
hands.
though.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the point.
So you never wash your hands.
So correct.
What about at home?
Oh yeah, no, I wash my hands at home. Honestly, more so because Ezria follows me everywhere, and so she wants to wash her hands. No wonder your family's
sick all the time. You don't wash your hands.
No. We always wash our hands because Ezria loves washing.
You don't
her hands.
defecate, really
so
you're just overflowing with feces.
More questions.
Don't sit on.
Can I go? Can we take a break from your questions? Let me have one question.
No, I've got a question. That Justin, you'll be the next follow up. Okay, Justin, you've already touched on this. This is number 3.
Okay.
Do you risk putting toilet paper on the toilet if you absolutely have to use the restroom because you can't avoid it because literally it's eking out of you and you don't have the choice?
No, I have had moments where I'm in pain. Do you know
and you're setting it out?
Do you know the moment it's about to come out of you? Yeah. It's about to explode. You hold and you just
yes.
You wait it out. You hold it you.
It happened to me today at work.
You're spasming because you're feeling
I had a waterfall come out 5 hours later, but I held that.
I'm about to diarrhea.
You were about to basically
through these pants.
Yes. You were about to basically paint a barn.
It's about
just amount of
Olive Garden is what I call that.
You could basically shit through a screen door.
That was McDonald's after Olive Garden, but that's there.
McDonald's.
You could shit into a dump truck with your feet planted firmly on the ground.
Dude, the moment when I was a young child, a young lad, and Brian's talking. We were talking about Olive Garden.
This is so much more fun.
We went to Olive Garden as children, and that was like back for us. We were white trash. That was going out for us.
I mean, it was fancy.
So like our bodies weren't able to like process the food we were eating. We're used to eating, rat. Whatever, corn and stuff like that. And pieces of rat and corn. Anyway, after leaving that.
I remember those good old childhood memories.
Solid Italian childhood you had there.
My older.
Yeah, Justin.
Right? So Italian, you grew up eating rat corn.
My own. Anyway, my older brother, it hit him. It hit bad. And we were pulling out. If you know the Hurstbourne Olive Garden, there's a McDonald's shortly down from it. You don't even have to know. We're telling you. We were leaving, and as we're going, my mom, he's like, I gotta go to the restroom. I don't know why, but I went in as well. I think I went in to pee. I heard explosions. I heard the worst sounds I've ever heard in my life. And I remember after I peed, I was like,
it was like
no, it was
fireworks.
all right. That for a long time. God.
Is that good?
But imagine it all over the wall.
Well, and I was getting to that part.
And then he goes, Justin, run.
No,
you'll just run.
Please leave. Please don't stay here.
Dude, I was a young lad.
Ask them for
I had to have been like 7-8 years old. And I remember I was like, hey, are you okay? Knocking on it. And
I think you're like 14, but okay.
No. I wasn't that old. It was like 7 or 8. And I was like, are you okay? Dude, we had to vacate the establishment as quickly as possible. I feel so bad for whoever worked at that McDonald's. Dude, there was diarrhea on the wall. It wasn't even like I am being dead serious. It was not like this is a war crime. Like this would be a war crime today if somebody did this in Ukraine.
I don't even know what the etiquette question was anymore. I just
would you put toilet paper down the seat?
Would you put toilet paper down?
He didn't have time to put toilet paper down.
Guys, there's a reason there's a faucet in the bathrooms at McDonald's, and it's because of him.
Yeah.
So to answer your question,
yeah, thanks. Dwight doesn't care. He sits bare ass on it every time.
I only do.
There's gotta be an exchange of germs.
Dwight sees the diarrhea on the wall and he still sits down bare ass. To take
Your immune system's better than ours because
it all depends on the cleanliness of the stall. If I enter the stall and it is clearly pristine, like it is in my work most of the time, I will just, I'll just use it. It's clean. Yeah. But if I go to, that's my work. My work is very clean. Mm-hmm. If I go to a public restroom where we're talking like Kroger, the movie theater, a gas station, 1,000%.
Gas stations.
1,000% I am putting toilet. I'm almost on your all side where I try to avoid it. But if I can't avoid it, yes, I put the barrier. I put the barrier down. I will put the barrier down.
But outside of like,
I can't hover because I have weak knees.
That's not true.
I mean, you have a
we know how good
you have
your
a
knees
good
are.
system that flushes things out. That's why you have to poop so often.
Gosh.
But I think what I would say is like, there's also it's not even outside of just the cleanliness thing. There's nothing more comforting than sitting on your own toilet.
Here's what I don't like.
Maybe playing some games.
But here's what I don't like.
45 to an hour.
I've been the most productive on my toilet. Like throughout college, if I needed if I needed a paper written, it was on that.
Don't you all ever just want a break from work, but you don't want to take an official break where you're just I need a break? That's because you're sitting all day. Anyways, but
it's not about sitting. You're
what I'm saying is you have a lot of.
What are you doing? Fucking jumping jacks while you're doing litigation or whatever you got to do.
But seriously, don't you? Yours is different. But some days I don't want to appear that I'm taking a break, but I want to take a break, and you can't do that at you have to. You just go and you sit at the toilet. It's funny because
there's so many people at my work who just go smoke cigarettes. But
I've thought about taking out cigarettes just so I can get more breaks at work. But no,
I think you had a question
to answer. Yes, about that. The one thing I hate about putting down that toilet paper barrier is if it's a hotter day. No, if it's a hotter day and you've got a little bit of swamp ass going, it sticks
That's
to
my
you.
life. What are
It
you
sticks
talking
to
about?
you. Where you sit on it, you raise up.
It could be
and the
middle of
toilet paper
January.
is
Brian's
stuck-
got swamp ass.
It's happening right now.
The toilet paper is stuck to your butt. That's gross.
Yeah.
That's not fun. So that's the only thing I don't
I think
like
I'll take
about
that
it.
over the syphilis that they just gave me. But yeah, okay.
All right. So next question.
I thought you had a question. That was it.
That was it. I just want
Okay.
to know if it ever stuck to your butt. Like
Oh,
that's
no,
mine.
it's never done that before for me.
That's
I don't know what
weird.
you're talking about.
No,
All right, guys.
I've had it. Well, wait. I have had it where like when I pull up to stand up, it's partly hanging on.
Yes.
But then I usually try to like you wiggle it and then it
Yeah,
falls
but that's
in.
gross.
I guess it's not as
Are you
gross
ready for
as,
something you're going to cut out
It's
of
not
this?
as gross as actual feces or actual pube hairs
I
from
think
somebody
the
else.
most-
You go to way worse restrooms than I do.
I think the most disgusting thing that I've ever, like, even at my own house, it's kind of messed up. I don't even know why I'm telling you guys this right now. Is when you wipe, and of course it's already down there. Like, what do you have to worry about? And then it's still attached to like your butthole.
Oh, that's gross. When you
And
have
you're like,
dingleberry,
wait,
basically.
what? Oh my God, what the fuck?
So basically you're walking.
not
you're,
dingleberry.
no,
It
you're
is the
walking.
toilet,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
You're walking around with toilet paper still in your asshole.
No, well, I'm not walking around. I'm not talking about that. No, that would be, oh my God, has that happened to you?
What are you
I'm
saying?
talking about like you wipe, you're sitting on the toilet and like you're not getting up yet because like you're wiping, but you're not sure that all of it's done. You flush and you feel it go down, but it like pulls out of your asshole.
No, that's weird as
That's
shit.
never happened.
That's
to me.
never
I'm
happened
gonna
to
go
me
make it
at all.
happen right now. I'll be right
That's
back.
never happened to me in my life.
I want to remember what it
That
feels
sounds super sus.
like. It's
Where you're
happened.
just like, ooh.
Are you not?
Something just got pulled out
Yeah,
of
that
me.
sounds
I
like-
hope this gets cut.
That's
No,
so
this is gonna
I've
be
never-
it.
Pretty
There's-
sure I'm not allowed to say that.
I'm pretty sure that's making us short.
Yeah, that's actually that's definitely a highlight.
Has the toilet ever pulled the toilet paper straight out of your butt?
When you feel the hairs of your asshole get ripped out by the toilet paper because it's stuck to the diarrhea that you just had. Yeah. Come at me.
What I have had is like you wipe and you pull the toilet paper out.
I remember having a
and
job.
it kind of tears. And so part of the toilet paper is still kind of stuck up in your butt. That sucks.
And then yeah.
That sucks.
I,
That's not fun. I love how we're talking about
quadruple wiping.
we're talking
so-
about the grossest stuff ever when we're talking about etiquette. Like we're getting so far
Oh
away
yeah,
from
we don't
etiquette.
care. It's just for fun.
All right, so what's the next etiquette one?
All right, guys.
I have questions as well, by the way.
So this is less. I'm getting further and further away from etiquette. I'm honestly
Yeah,
just.
you made
the
this
beginning
topic.
of it's etiquette, and then it goes further into the fact that.
It's just stupid stuff that happens in the bathroom.
right. So this is just true for life.
I'm glad because I actually wanted to like prep for this.
There's no reason to.
Yeah,
No.
because I did prep for this, and I feel like my prep was wasted.
Completely wasted.
Yeah, it
wasted
was.
time.
That's my goal.
Because I thought about, I'm like, is it going to be like if somebody's standing in the urinal next to you? What do you do? Is
So
that-
we
is that one of them?
understand. We understand as men, we're like privileged, right? Like of the two sexes, we win like completely.
100%.
I don't think we're privileged at all. I think we have to do much more of the work. We have to provide. We have to. I don't think we're privileged.
But I would.
When was the last
if
time
I-
you gave birth? When was the last time you let
Yeah,
that
I was
little
gonna
baby
say,
suckle at your
if
teeth?
I had to,
I
would pick
had
a
When's
would
that
pick
time that
male.
you woke up in the middle of the night to go let him suckle? Because it ain't happening to me.
I've had to.
I've fed a bottle at night, but I've never let my fucking nipple get ripped off by my child.
I had to make sure.
I've never
that-
had my vagina ripped open and let a fucking 10-pound
I had
baby
to-
come out.
I mean, I guess that's fine, but I guess
I've never had to
Are we gonna
piss on the toilet, which is my entire point.
So
Women
I-
are screwed. They have to sit down all the time. I get the choice.
That sounds relaxing, actually, if I'm not going to lie.
It's disgusting.
You
Like,
tell me
you have to
why
sit,
40% of the population. Anyway, go ahead.
40% of the population.
What's your
I was
what's
like
your
on a Ben
question?
Shapiro
My
rant.
question is how screwed are women versus men?
He went so
awful.
off topic
Yeah.
from like
Guys,
this
it's my thing. Fuck
awful.
off.
Yeah, awful.
Oh, wait.
Last question.
Answer yours are awful.
Last question.
Last question for you. I have some.
That's fair. Last
Can
question.
we skip that answer?
I mean, who gives a shit? That was just a point.
I guess we
Last
are.
question.
Sure.
Is it time for a standing shitter? Like real talk. Like as dudes, if I had a
Like a
standing
shitting
shitter in
urinal?
a stall, I'd go every fucking time. I don't have to wait till I get home.
You know how messy that would be?
Not
how
for
would that
me.
even work?
You just
how would that
kinda
even
like-
work?
You got to finagle up there. It could almost be the same
It
thing
would
as
be a
urinal
squatty
now.
potty. It would be a
And I'd
squatty
just
potty.
spread,
But-
and I would just
So I think we were created though where we're
That's
supposed
disgusting.
It's 2023. There's no reason there's not a
to.
standing
We're
should be.
created
That
where we're
doesn't make
supposed
any
to
sense.
squat. We're supposed
Because
to be
here's
squatting.
and here's also
not
the reason.
actually sitting, but fully squatting. Where like your ass.
Think
is
of all
down.
my daughter poops. That's
Think of all
right.
the different heights of people.
Yeah.
You have like an Ashton, and then you have a Wembanyama.
You can have a urinal on the floor. But then it goes.
Actually,
Wait. Sucks it
But
out.
if I have a legitimately
Log.
heavy turd, it's not gonna spray. I don't know if you just like diarrhea every time
will
you
have
like
to-
go, but like
You don't?
if you have a heavy log, it's just gonna drop straight down.
I'll have to edit this in post and add it in if I find it. But I'm pretty sure in Japan they do have like where it's just a hole in the floor.
I need to leave.
Like it is just
We're
a
going to
hole in the
Japan.
floor.
We gotta do
And you
research.
basically you pee on it, you drop your deuces, it all just goes down a hole in the floor,
Dude.
and it all
How big is that hole?
like.
big
'Cause it would
enough.
have to be massive.
How big is your ass?
Are you taking
Because
Randy?
think about it, think of all the different types of poops you have.
Randy
you
Marsh
have
poops. I've never had
you have
Randy
the
Marsh
drops,
poop.
You have the sprays. You
Yeah.
have all kinds of
Keep
different.
going,
like,
Dwight. What else you got?
You got all kinds of different angles that you can shoot from.
You got like the lettuce and stuff still filling in there. Yeah,
You got the
yeah.
Play-Doh.
The corn.
The Play-Doh.
Yeah,
It could get crazy. All right,
right,
are you
that
ready
was
for
it.
mine?
Yeah.
That was terrible, by the way.
You're welcome.
it wasn't terrible.
That was
It
terrible.
No, it was,
I feel like there's some quality content.
there's some,
in there.
All
there's
right.
some positives.
All right,
there
guys.
are positives.
Justin, do you have any? Because I have a list.
No, because I thought this was Brian's thing. I didn't do anything.
No, I'm fine with it. It's
Yay
fine.
or nay? Yay or nay to the courtesy flush?
Oh, it's 11:15. I'm not fine with it anymore. Never mind. Courtesy flush is a must.
Describe it. Wait,
you serious?
Define what a courtesy flush is.
If you shit and there's something left in the toilet, no matter
no,
what
no,
it
no,
is,
no, that's not what I consider the courtesy flush.
yeah,
the
that's
courtesy flush
that's why I
is the
brought it up.
smell or what?
That's why I brought it up. What is it?
The courtesy
Define it.
flush is, let's say that you're in a stall. There's someone in the stall next to you, right? You're dumping your like guts out, but you're not sure if you're done or not. Do you flush it?
Fuck yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I think you should.
I want to for myself, let alone the guy next to you.
I think you should. I do not.
Oh no.
I'm good, dude. I'm marinating in this.
The thing, no, but here's the thing. The
You want to
reason
see the product.
I want to see the final
I
product.
earned this.
I want to see what I just finished. I want to see the final product. And another thing, in addition to that, is I don't know what that flush is going to do to what I just did. I don't know if it's going to spray it up on me.
Yeah, I don't want a bidet
Yes.
full of poop.
And so I know in my heart of hearts I should courtesy flush, but I do not.
The issue is this. I know what kind of a disgusting human being I am, the things that I eat. It's like, I don't need to see the evidence. Like, I don't have to see what I've created.
And
Like,
this is where Dwight and you differ because Dwight's proud of what he's created and you're like ashamed
I
of
don't
it.
need to see what I birthed. I don't need it.
Also
But-
for the environment, because there's a lot of water being flushed down the
Oh
toilet. So I'm
my
trying to
God.
save
water.
save the environment.
Save all your poop
Well,
together.
trying to go green.
Here's my issue, and here's the thing.
water, it's blue.
There's a courtesy flush. That's why I wanted to define, because there's also like my thoughts of what a courtesy flush is, and there's part of it too. You're going to a public bathroom. Dude, I can't tell you. At church, it happens every time I have my son and I have to go give him change his diaper during church. I'll come in and somebody's in there dropping the biggest deuce ever, and it stinks up the entire bathroom. So courtesy flush would be get rid of that smell as quickly as possible. So you're flushing. Yes, there's going to be some residue, but if you're letting it marinate in the bowl, that's a problem. Otherwise, there's also this. If I have to poop in a public restroom, which I will try to avoid at all costs, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do this. Here's my process, and I'll tell you this also works at home, because sometimes the toilet, there's somebody in the room right next to it. They can hear what's going on. I flush before I start pooping, and then I go poop, so you don't hear the.
Oh, so you flush a billion
So
times.
I waste water. I don't
all
care.
that water that Dwight's saving,
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, you're the reason
sorry.
ice caps are melting.
I'm sorry, California. I don't care. I don't care about the wildfires right now.
I'm not gonna argue.
using this water. So I will use that to cover the sound of my disgusting shit that I don't know what it's going to sound like.
So maybe Dwight's poops don't have as much.
They
He
can.
ain't got as
He ain't
much.
as fat, so the flapping of the
yeah.
the butt cheeks flapping together.
I'm not super loud, but
He's
yeah.
not as thick as you are, J-Ball.
but just
I'm
in
not
case,
down with the thickness like you guys.
But just in case there is a sound coming out, I want to cover it as much as I can. So I do that. I get it out as much as I can. But then, like, sometimes you got to beat the water because I'm like, oh no, the water's going down. It's almost dead. I'm still going. And you're still. kind of thing.
That's a short right there.
And the guy is right next to you in the thing.
God damn
right
it.
next to you. And I'm like so worried. That's what happens. And that's why. So I will do that and I will do the flushes if there's something sitting there, but I feel like I could still work up another batch or so, another baker's dozen, if you will. I will do that.
So I'm not going to argue because I think if we're talking etiquette, you should do the courtesy flush. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. We're in the trust tree. I don't do it.
Okay.
Now, this one, I think we're all going to be on the same page on finally. I think if there are 3 urinals, are you an asshole if you go to the middle one?
Yes.
Yes.
Logically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why would you make
1,000%.
somebody have to sit next to you?
Okay, I'm glad that was going to be a quick and easy one.
Yeah.
Quick and easy.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
agree.
I like
have done
knowing whose feet are next to me, so that way I can be like, like you were right here in the middle of this fucking day
That's
taking
my
a shit
sleep.
too.
Y'all-
But like, I'm scared. Like, I don't want to be in there. I don't want other people to know that I'm in
Wait,
there.
you said
Why the hell would I sit in the
No,
middle?
he's talking urinals. He's talking urinals. He's not talking about
urinals.
He's not talking
I
about
thought you
stalls.
said stall.
Sorry,
No, he said
urinals.
urinals.
If there are 3
yeah,
urinals,
that's even worse.
Yes, 1,000%.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, that
we're all on the
is-
same
God.
page.
I agree with you. Have I done it in the past? Yes, I have.
That's
I've done it if I know the people. Like if I want to make them uncomfortable. I
So
used to
you're
do
just
that-
being a jerk on purpose.
Yeah, I did it. So I did it like with Ashton in college. Like there was
Yeah, I just
literally-
be on their shoes, right?
In
Yeah.
Strickler
Right.
Hall at UofL, there was literally a row of like 20 urinals.
Right,
And he
and
had
you-
one, and I
yes.
went all the way to where he was and went right next to him.
Right.
That's an easy one. So I think we all are in agreement. Like there's three urinals. You don't go to the middle one.
Yep.
Also, same kind of concept. If there is a urinal available that's 2 over from someone, you don't go to the one right beside them. Clearly. Right? Like
yeah,
let's say that there's
right.
yeah,
That's
okay,
not even
that's
a
what I'm
que-
saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I had to think about
You
it. I was
always,
like, what
no,
are you even
no matter,
asking?
No matter
Because
what, a decent person would always find spacing. You work it out whatever way. If you start out, if you.
I'm going to a stall
if
if my
you're-
only other option is
if you-
standing next to somebody.
If you know a group
Yeah.
of people,
Like,
yes.
So normally you can go wherever you want to go, but if you know a group of people is entering and there's going to be enough where it's not going to fill up the thing. I think the smartest thing you can do is take one that's going to be like a wall one where you're going to have only one next to you. Don't take one that's right in the middle that could throw off the numbers. That could throw off where like enough people get in there that one of them has to be next to somebody. You space it out evenly.
So here's one. I think we're all on the same page on that one. That one's an easy one.
Yeah.
This one, still to this day, I don't know. It's like I'm a Ricky Bobby where he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Uh-huh.
If you have to piss next to someone at a urinal, where do your eyes go? Where are you supposed to look?
Eyes forward. Straight forward.
Eyes forward.
Oh, I gotta look at my dick. I just want to make sure it's.
I mean, you
doing
can
okay.
look down. But
Of course, you look forward. What
You-
the fuck is wrong with
But
you?
you do not look over the top.
say, "Hey,
You don't-
man,
No,
what's up?"
no. So that's where I really, really, really struggle because
I want to look at the dick. I want to see what they have.
Oh, you're struggling.
I'm so struggling because here's the thing.
What you got? You got over
because
there.
I think I'm afraid that if I look dead forward,
Yeah.
Oh, liquor.
that I look like a stiff where I'm just like super uncomfortable. I'm just like,
Yes.
I'm
No, it's just
looking dead
socially
forward.
acceptable.
That's proper. I think that is
I
proper.
love the look of this brick.
Yeah. God, have you seen this tile? Wow.
Part of me also wants to look down. So I'm like, I'm looking at my own business. So I know what I'm doing. But if I'm looking down, is he worried that I'm looking over here? And then the other part of me wonders, like, do I look up to the ceiling? So it's very obvious that I'm like not looking.
That's the
anywhere.
dumbest thing I've ever
No,
heard.
Right.
I think it's just, the greatest thing.
I look behind me the entire time. Who's coming?
Here's the biggest issue with urinals nowadays, and it's because of the dying medium. Back in the day in
Well, do
bathrooms.
you close your eyes?
Can I finish? Can I
Yes.
get my
Sorry.
fucking statement
I
out?
can't
Okay.
finish.
Sorry.
Pig.
Okay. Back in the day, they used to
Get it,
have
Victor's 23.
newspapers that were plastered that they would update every day on the urinal, and they would, a lot of restroom or restaurant bathrooms used to have. They would have a newspaper on the wall of the urinals that you could read while you're peeing.
That's
and
smart.
that's
That's
a great
smart.
move because it
I like
makes
the
you.
TVs in places.
yes.
Like I'm gonna spend longer than 30 seconds here.
I would imagine Dwight's fancy restrooms
Right.
there
Yeah.
Yes.
have the TVs and all
Sure.
that.
Yes.
But that's the way.
That is
That's the
smart.
way you would make it comfortable because I can read this article on how Kenny
That's
Payne
smart.
went 3-29 this season. It's crazy. How to get worse.
Season 2.
He just signed an extension. This is amazing. Dude,
Not to throw back to that, but
Because
there's
it is-
part of me that hopes this season is worse.
Yeah, of
so that way,
course.
just so he
It's
gets to go after his
obliviously-
guys that
Yes.
he recruited and tell me about how bad their families were.
It is awkward to me. It is awkward to me to stare straight ahead like I'm like fucking soldier. Like I'm one of those like British soldiers that are just standing guard, and I have to. That makes me look. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. So I don't know.
So
just
you
a
just
question.
like look around.
Now here's one I think that is more personal to me, but I still feel strongly about this as far as etiquette goes. If you are in a bathroom, whether you are there's two people. Let's say if it's a busy restroom, like at an airport or a movie theater, throw this out the window because it's busy. Let's say you're in a restroom where it's just you and one other person. You're in the stall,
and they're in the sink.
And either they are at the stall, another stall, or they are at the urinal. I think that you need to wait until they are gone, or they need to wait until you are gone to leave the stall. Because I do not want to know who is emptying their guts next to me. Let's go. Thank you. I knew that I was afraid that I was alone in this, but it's so true.
I've had this thought so many times. This happened to me.
I don't know that I fully comprehend.
This was okay. I'll tell you this right now.
Yeah.
A similar situation. No, I didn't go in the stall next to him, but it was the situation I talked about at church. I had to bring my son in to change his diaper, and all I was doing was bringing him in and change his diaper. This dude was obliterating the bathroom. The smell was as rank as possible, and I was like, this guy has to be like, he has to have some bit of shame of what has come out of his body. And like, I'm thinking, so I'm changing his diaper, and I'm like, I'm almost done. I got this done.
Yes.
And all of a sudden I hear the creak, and I hear the sliding of the lock, and it opens. And this
You have the
60-year-old
balls
man
to come out and be like, that was me.
That is exactly right. There needs to be some anonymity when that's going on.
after the sin that just came out of your body in that toilet, you come out of me in church.
Just wait.
And you walk right in front of me, and
Just
you
wait.
wash your hands, and you make a comment about like my kid and changing the diaper or something like that. Don't talk to me.
You're not in that big of a rush.
We don't need
Just
to do
sit there.
If it were me, I'd wait till the bathroom was empty.
100%.
If I
100%.
can.
It makes me so mad when like I'm at like, if I'm in a stall and I'm finishing up and I'm clearly about to leave, and then I hear the other person rushing to also leave, I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to sit back down and go for round two because I'm not leaving at the same time as this guy.
Like, what are you in a hurry for? If you have the time to poop, you have the time to wait.
And if I am taking a dump in a stall and someone comes into the restroom, even if I'm ready to leave, even if I am ready to leave, let's say that I'm at the stall, I'm at a stall. Yeah. I'm taking number 2. I'm ready to go, but someone walks in and they want to use number 1. I'm like, I sit back down. I'm like, yeah, I'll wait till they leave. Yeah. Because I don't want them to know that I'm the person responsible for what they're sniffing. And also because I just don't want them to know like, oh, well, I know what Dwight did 5 minutes ago. Like, I don't want that. And anonymity is key.
Get back on YouTube.
You need to, if you're doing number 2, you wait until it is empty. Now, again, it's the Wild Wild West. If you're talking airports like Kroger, Walmart,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
You just gotta get in and get out. Like those are strangers.
I almost missed a flight because
those are strangers.
Were still in the restroom.
Yeah. But if you're in the office, you need to wait. You need to keep some. Things just don't need to be known. There needs to be some privacy, some secrets. Secrets are okay.
Dwight Young in the Chamber of Secrets. And that's what bathroom should be.
Yes.
That was from
I'm Moaning Myrtle.
Yes.
Oh, Harry Potter.
Oh, literally.
All right, last one, and then we can move on, guys. Quick. This is going to be quick. This is quick. And I think that this is taboo to some people, but I don't know why. Is it rude to fart at the urinal? Because I think people think it is, and I don't get that.
I'm never.
If I'm in the bathroom, I think that you can fart anywhere.
No, definitely not.
I do.
Are you? You're being facetious.
No, not at all. Why?
You are those people. Are you 60 yet? Like, have you gotten that old?
If I'm at a urinal, why does it matter if I'm in this urinal or I'm at the stall? If I need to fart, let me just fart real quick.
Because I'm just taking a piss. I'm not shitting myself.
But I'm not either. I'm just taking a little fart. Just a little fart.
Well, I'm pissing. What the fuck's wrong with you?
It's like you fart.
Gotta release some shit from you.
You fart while you're at the urinal. Someone looks at you like, and I'm like, dude, who cares? Who cares?
this is a gray area for me. And the reason I say this is when I was younger,
I don't mean
when
to-
I was a wee lad and I had like expectations of myself, I would have said no way in hell am I farting, and I'm going to be keeping quiet. Now that I've gotten older and my body's going and it's just gone to shit, like I'm not taking care of it
You're already
anymore.
that loose.
There's 2 kids, I don't care. Like when sometimes you get in there.
Your body was wrecked. From the
It was my body that was wrecked. Hey, they're actually
Those 2 kids wrecked this figure.
the sympathy weight, bro.
Nothing to do with old childhood.
This isn't me chugging 17 Dr. Peppers a day. Must have had 15 Dr. Peppers. Anyway, but it's like you'll get to the stall and sometimes it's that release. And it's like, like sometimes when you pee and it's better than sex.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about?
I do,
when you have to
actually.
be so bad.
Yep.
Sometimes during those moments, you're releasing everything. And like, you're not pooping yourself, but you are farting. And it's just going to, like, it's just going to go out there.
Like pull it out. Right?
No, I literally had to zip it back up.
Oh. So yeah, it gets out the window.
Yep.
But no,
I'm at Dwight's house. I don't care.
I don't think you should do it if someone's standing right next to you. I think that's a little rude. But if you're just in the bathroom and someone's 2 or 3 like urinals down from you, who cares?
Yeah.
Like grow up. Screw up.
Yeah, I
Guys,
yeah.
I think we need to move on.
All right.
from
I
the
think
subject.
you're right. So, but
I think it's time we talk about something that's.
do you know
maybe-
what I think is funny?
I would try to hide it though. So I do want to say, like, I would try to cover it.
All of our listeners, I know you guys want us to move on, but we're not moving on because this is the most juvenile episode we will ever record.
The first one we talked about cartoons we want to have sex with.
It's still the most juvenile.
This is still worse. This is still worse. We're not getting off this topic. We are getting into
We're
our
not getting
draft, but our draft is the worst places or times to fart. So again, we're 33 years old and this is the humor that we find funny. I still think this is something that's important to know because there are certain times that I think are way worse than others. And I think people have strong opinions about when those are. So, Justin, what is our order?
The guy, Ashton, it's your fault. You
Ashton's
threw
fault.
this off, you son of a bitch. What? Okay. Yeah, it's Dwight, then Brian, and then me. So that's how we're going to go.
Dwight, Brian, and then Justin. All right, guys. This is going to be tough because I have
It's not tough. Everybody knows what number 1 is.
I don't.
I don't know. I
Well,
honestly
actually,
don't.
no, you're right. I think I do. I think there is a clear number 1.
Oh, okay.
All right, with the number 1 pick, play that button. The number 1 pick of the worst places or times to fart is in an elevator with one other person present.
Wrong.
That is the number 1 time to fart.
It's number 2.
Here's the thing. If you're in a crowded elevator, you can hide that because you could do a sneaky silent one and no one knows. It could be anybody. It could be anybody.
Who did that?
But if you are there with one other guy and you fart and it's gross, there's no hiding it. They know it's you. And even worse is when you're the only one in the elevator and they come onto the elevator
and you've already done
They
it.
enter this like box of just
Welcome.
welcome to my
Going down.
welcome to my lair.
You walked in on this.
This is the fart chamber. Welcome.
You're talking about a guy. It's so much worse when it's a girl. I don't care how
And they-
attractive or non-attractive.
And here's
It's
the thing.
just-
It doesn't matter
Here's the
if
thing.
you're married,
If they walk
none of that, yeah.
If they walk onto that elevator, it does not matter what floor you're going to. You're getting off at that stop.
Yep,
You're
yep.
getting the hell off that elevator.
I hope I never see that person again.
So that's my easy number 1. So let's go on. Let's keep it moving.
I think that's
number
a
1.
solid one. That's a solid option.
It is.
But I want to hear
But it's not right.
what Brian has.
All right, here we go, Brian.
There is no doubt that there's never a more important time and or place than during a job interview.
That was on my list. That's a
Now
good
the
pick.
tuxedos are
That's
a
a
little
good
bit
that's a
yeah,
good
now
pick.
the tuxedos are pretty fucked up.
No, that's a good pick. That was on my list. I still think elevator is worse, but
You've
that
doomed any chances of getting that job.
You're done.
Yeah.
Unless he's the most like immature child, and then you don't even want to go work for that place because you're like, you have no
And
self-respect.
the worst part is that, especially if you do it in the beginning of the interview, that they have 2 options. They can either
we're done here.
They can either end the interview early, or they can sit through and just taste it
Hey, just
the whole time.
marinate in your stench.
Yes.
That's what we need. I tend to agree with that. That was actually, I didn't have a number, but it was the first one I wrote down.
Yes.
And maybe it's because I just went back to Step Brothers and that's what I thought about in that moment. But like, these moments are the moments
Yep,
when
I
it's
can
going to
taste
happen.
that.
Yeah.
I can taste that.
Seth Rogen. Is that
In my
BK
mouth.
chicken tenders?
Oh god.
That was a good pick. All right, Justin. So I think let's keep it moving. We'll keep this one a little shorter, but those. I think
Oh, I knew this was going to go quick.
those were two no doubters. I mean, there's no debating that.
You all
one.
are these are good picks, great picks. I think
Don't forget to push your button.
you got to be. Yeah, I'm getting there. I think this one's a good one though. I think you guys are totally missing the point on these and what would be the worst place to fart.
Okay.
And I think with my top pick, I think in this draft, which I think is going to easily overshadow your two picks, it would be while in the Ocean Gate submarine.
Had that on my list as well.
I would imagine
Had that on my list as well.
being under the ocean,
No.
minutes from death,
No.
and then just to release the smelliest fart of all time for 4 or 5 other people. Imagine if you
Like 7 or 8.
not funny, but it would be funny. It is
would.
funny. Think about the owner, the owner and CEO of Ocean Gate about to kill all these people. Also drops a deuce and just farts the entire place up. It smells horrible.
And there's no opening the window. There's no way you can get rid of it. It's there.
Actually, there was,
stays.
and that's what happened.
You see the little tiny window that you were supposed to see the Titanic out of just fogs up.
That's what happened. That's the guy. The guy. Did you hear about the guy on the flight who opened the door and like everybody like. Everybody was strapped in, but he wanted to get off the plane, so he opened the door mid-flight, and like nobody got seriously injured, but it was bad. That's what happened. That's actually the tragedy of what happened.
That's unbelievable.
That little Indian kid.
You're implying that that's what occurred. That's why the implosion occurred. Wow. You know you're going to hell.
That was on my list. That was a good pick.
I'm glad my creative one actually got. Yeah, that was.
All right, you snake
round
back
for
to
number
yourself.
one?
No,
Yeah.
you snack back to
No,
yourself.
two, yeah.
Man, my picks are getting taken.
I don't have any more.
All right, with the I guess the 4th overall pick in this draft, it's weird because we are doing this so much quicker with just the 3 of us. But I think the second worst place to fart would be while being brutally assaulted and held captive as the first or second in a human centipede.
You thought way too much about this.
I feel like this would be the worst spot for that to happen.
I feel like that's not as bad because you're gonna have to shit eventually. So that's just like a precursor to what's coming.
Yes.
Like that's almost polite.
But
That's a warning to that.
Here's your taste. Are you ready?
Man,
Here
just
it
know.
comes.
Here's the appetizer.
Here's the appetizer. Full meal's coming. I hope you get an appetite. Like,
Luckily, I had Taco Bell before we were
I'm so
taking-
thankful that my only reference point for Human Centipede is South Park.
yeah, same. I haven't watched the actual
Yes.
movie.
I haven't seen it
thankfully.
either.
Oh
but
Lord!
anyway,
Yeah.
so nothing else. Nobody
No,
else.
I mean that's bad, but I don't think it's as bad because again,
I think if
you're
we're
gonna
going
do worse in
but
that position.
Each one of these, you gotta be able to find ways. You'd imagine if somebody stitched it, it'd be painful, but you'd pull like you.
I need you to press that green button.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the 5th overall
Let's move
pick.
on. Brian,
Guys,
back to you.
I've been the victim of this. Like, you do it to yourself. So it's not just like when you think that I'm saying that it is, but in bed.
Yeah.
It's not just
It's not
like
that bad.
having sex or
it's not that bad.
it's not just like when you're trying to like be with your special someone. It's when you fart so rank and you're under the sheets that you hotbox yourself under the sheets and you open the like you're dead. Like
It's Dutch oven.
It's a Dutch oven in your bed. You're
I don't
gonna
think it's that
sleep there
bad.
that night.
Because I like
you enjoy it.
I like
you
my smell. You like your own smell.
I don't. For myself personally, the grosser the better because I'm impressed with what's happening.
Are you by yourself or are you like sharing this with your significant other?
Well, I obviously have to apologize
It's
when that's
only
happening.
better when there is a significant other.
But
That's the only time I can handle it. When I'm by myself, it's a problem.
The reason I challenge that pick is because there's an escape route. She can get out of bed. She can get if it's that bad, she can get up and leave. And she's probably stuck with you anyways. Like she's probably your wife, or you're close enough to at least share a bed with her.
You know what the smell smells
You know
like.
how gross I am as an individual. You can light a candle. You can go to another room. It's escapable. I think it's bad, but I've been in that position a million times, and I've made it out alive. I'm still married, so.
I mean, I'm married still too, but like when I do that, it's always a rough time after.
I always apologize.
myself
I always
and for them.
apologize, but I don't feel that.
I don't think I've ever apologized. I've always laughed, but like I'm always like, oh, this is so gross, even for myself.
Man, all right. My
That was a
turn.
bad pick?
No, it wasn't a bad pick. I just think that there's others.
There's details that you could have used that could have made it a good pick.
Oh, okay.
So I have not done
Wrapping
this,
around to this?
but I could see this being just like a terrible time to do it.
I already know.
No, you don't. And this is during a breakup. I think that farting during a breakup has to be so bad. Because
I have such little respect for you.
Because whether you're the person doing the breaking up or the person getting broken up with, it just like completely cheapens the moment.
It's never something I've ever thought of.
It cheapens the moment, and it's like if you're the person getting broken up with, it's you fart and you're just like,
It's proof.
That's why I'm breaking up with your
it's
ass.
why you deserve
like
what you're getting.
all right, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
All right, that's
or
fair.
if you're the person breaking up, you're just like, I'm getting broken up with this guy.
It's salt in the wound. You're
It is-
disrespecting them on top of breaking up with them.
That is one of the most. Like,
You're not good enough for
solemn-
this.
Yes, it's one of the most. It's one of the most serious moments in your life is getting broken up with or breaking up with someone, and you're cheapening the moment
Trying
by
to handle. Oh,
by
my
fart.
God.
Like you either. Like, how do you carry on? Like, you laugh. Like, it's just bad. So, like,
Well,
you're
see ya.
yeah. It's like, well,
And you do it again. That's you.
I just can't imagine that scenario. It has to be one of the worst times to do it.
All right, Dwight, you win that one. That's fair.
that's a good
All
one. I
right,
didn't
so
think about that.
wait, I have a second one, right?
You do. Okay, let's go ahead.
Oh, that
man.
one. That one just cracks me up thinking about. Last one. This is again, I think, kind of similar to Elevator and also Interview. Is you're captive. You've got a captive audience here, and that's during a massage. I've never done it.
I was gonna say I've never had a nice massage.
I love a good massage.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
do
good.
it. I don't do it often, but I enjoy
I didn't want
them.
to do it, but Sarah made me do
so
it.
good.
She wanted a couples massage, and I had to do it.
I'm fucking up.
I was like, I feel
They're
uncomfortable.
way too expensive, but yeah, they're good. They're nice. It's nice to do it on a vacation. I think on a vacation you can kind of justify.
Did you get the
that.
full ending?
No, because I have not. I've never gotten that. I've
Dude
never
or
gotten-
chick?
So I have gotten a chick every time but once.
How many times?
And I will.
Am I really missing out?
I've had like 5. I've had like 5 massages, and I had a dude one time.
5 more than
I'll
me.
save that story for another time. But
I don't know that I want to wait.
but I just can't. I just imagine like
Did he give you a happy?
no.
Okay.
But
I
you're
want
paying,
a big,
you're paying this
strong
person
man to just take care of me.
No, see, I don't. I'm not a big.
I actually
deep
think I
tissue
feel
guy.
emasculated and I just want to run away. But yes, okay.
But yeah, captive audience, like they're getting paid and they're like, I'm gonna have to massage this disgusting person who just shit their pants. And
sorry, I'm so
obviously
comfy.
for the majority
It's not gonna
of
tip you.
for the majority of massages, you are stomach on the table, so your butt is plopped straight up. So your fart is going straight into their mouth. So like I just feel like that's one of those captive audience moments where they're just gonna have to suck it up and live with it.
you
And
go-
you better tip big.
Do you go full nude when they do that?
I want to save that for another.
He went full nude for the dude.
No, I didn't. But I want to save that for a dude debate. But I will say no, I don't. But I want to save
Same.
a story for a dude debate.
Oh yeah, okay.
I do go
That's
everything
fine.
but underwear. I do leave boxers on.
Well, that's because I asked and they were like, "Oh, you do whatever," and I'm like, "I want to have the boxers on." Like, I just don't feel well.
I thought cleaning restrooms at the movie theater was gross. I can't even imagine having to be a masseuse.
You know how bad I felt? Like you're touching me.
I'm
This isn't
gross.
fun for you.
See,
this is
this is
my
how-
wife does this. She doesn't want this.
this is how
but, like, we
vain.
do
This is how vain I am.
she wants more kids, so she trods on
has
through.
to do it. This is how
Yeah.
vain I am. I have had the thought cross, and then I'm also drunk. I've been drinking some shit. I've had the thought cross my mind during massages before. I'm like, these people probably have to rub up on gross, overweight people all the time. I bet they're freaking loving having to rub up on me. I'm like, I bet they're having a blast right
Dwight's
now.
getting off to the fact that he thinks he's super attractive compared to most
Not
people.
attractive,
Would
but
you
I'm
like
like,
to
you
show
know
your
what? I'm
shoulder?
all right.
Have
No,
you had-
that's gross.
have you had
You're
surgery
right.
on that yet?
Nah,
you going
shoulder's
to?
gross.
I actually thought you did. You didn't get shoulder. You didn't
No.
get shoulder.
No, I can
surgery?
see Chip right now.
No.
It's still up there.
Yeah, he's still
There's
up
still a big rhino horn. Anyways, all right. So those are my picks. So far, I've got Elevator with one other person, during a breakup, and during a massage. Brian, on to you.
Dude, I don't even know how to make these fun. I'm going to go with a complete full car.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna. Yeah.
And you're the driver. So you have complete control over those windows, and you know.
Oh, and you don't roll them down.
That lock button accidentally hit. I don't know how
That's
that
messed
got.
up. And the hotter, the worse.
It's the worst and best place,
especially if it's hot.
because you're just like, you guys are gonna suffer. Like, this is
That
great.
sucks.
I'm so
Yeah,
proud of
that
what I've just
sucks.
created.
Yeah.
Taste it.
I was gonna give the counterpoint of windows, but if you're the driver and you're just being that guy, that's
So
that's
not
yeah,
only
otherwise,
that,
if
but
you-
you
if
also
you're-
turn child locks on because you prepared. Like,
no one's gonna.
we're not stopping at this red light. You're not getting out.
If you're a passenger,
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get the shameful. You get frozen out. You get the
Yeah,
window down.
exactly.
It's 30 degrees outside, but
Yeah.
they're keeping it down
Yes.
until they feel comfortable, and then you have to sit in it a little bit longer.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's. I mean, that
If
is
it's a long trip, like a vacation,
in the
and
scenario.
it's gonna happen multiple times.
Yeah.
It's not happening once and we're out.
In
Like,
the scenario that you just gave, I think that is one of the worst times to fart for everyone else.
Yes,
it's not
correct.
as bad for you
Correct.
because
Correct.
you are making it. You are
Correct.
Yeah, you're instigating.
yes.
the best part now is I can just blame it on my kids. Like I did it the other day. Sarah's like, Luca, did
There's
you
a
fart?
distinct difference between myself and my daughter.
1,000%. There's
And
a,
my daughter is ranker.
It's been a whole day.
No, I'm
Not
joking.
me.
She's like,
joking.
Luca, did you fart? Did you fart?
Yes.
He's like, no. And I'm like, Luca,
Why are you yelling at me, Mom?
Luca, why are you yelling? Why are you lying? Did you fart or not, Luca? And like, but he's also at the point now because he's 3 that he thinks it's hilarious when he farts. He's like, he'll be sitting back there in the back and he'll be like,
Welcome to manhood.
and I'll look back and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, he's like, Dad, what, Luca? I farted. He just smiles. He's just happy. That's proud. Well, also, her dad and I have encouraged it where we're both like, did you fart, buddy? Did you fart? He's like, yeah.
My daughter only farts when I tickle the shit out of her,
gross.
and then she thinks it's hilarious, and then she's a machine gun. It's a problem.
Ugh.
It's no, I, like
Oh, she's the gross girl.
I
She's
know where
Dirty
she got
Becky.
that, and it wasn't me.
That's dirty.
I don't. Allison, we've gotten to the point where my wife clearly knows what my scent tastes. Where my she knows what
she
my
does.
she knows
She
what
knows the
my
flavor. She knows the
my
flavor.
scent and she knows Lincoln's scent. So there's no disguising like it
Yep.
for her. And one thing I do love about like my relationship with my son is I'll be up in his bedroom reading like a goodnight story, and I'll fart, and it will smell disgusting. No matter how bad it is, he'll go ew, but he'll also laugh, and it's like
Yeah.
we're them boys.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
have that until I have a boy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's great. It's
Are
really
you
funny?
Are you up?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, let's do it.
Is
Let's do
my
it.
turn.
This is your third and fourth, so you're finishing it up.
Oh, I hate going back to back like this. We have to go back to back. Yeah,
Back to back.
So this one, I'm going to go off kind of what what I thought he was leaning toward, and I think because we're talking about the worst
I know what you're gonna
places
say.
and situations.
I already know
before
what you're gonna say.
and you probably do. And I think so there's a specification to this statement, but it is the first time being intimate with a partner, but specifically if a service is happening. And I think that is the worst. Like, it's bad.
What type of service?
Well, sometimes
Yeah, I'd like to understand.
where maybe this partner is
confused.
Like at
is-
church?
They're
Like you're
praying
hanging
for
out with
you.
your partner for the first time at church?
It's an intimate prayer
If
service.
if they found employment, if they found employment and they are
Just say it. We're talking like men here.
Yeah.
I think just for my own well-being.
Oh, you mean when they're balls deep? Oh, okay. Got you. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't say that. But anyway,
I didn't either.
That's the most disrespectful
They're playing the skin flute.
and worst. Yes. Skin
Ah,
flu,
gotcha.
trouser snake, whatever you want to say. It's happening. That's the worst, the most disrespectful place that it can happen in. Because
It
like they're
is.
doing you a tremendous
Yeah.
service.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good one because
And then you do that.
You're guaranteed that service has ended.
Yeah, it's over.
So I'm
That
not going to
service
lie.
is not going to continue. That
There's
service is not
something
continue.
about my chemistry that
Oh,
will not
God.
allow me
Oh,
to do both things at the same time.
See, I thought you were going to say the opposite. I thought you were going to say every
No.
time I
Wow.
get off, I have to fart.
Wow. This is the only way I could do it.
Yeah.
I thought you were.
If I don't fart, I can't go.
It happened simultaneously. I can't help it. I'm sorry.
I thought you were saying you couldn't go down on a guy and fart at the same time.
Oh no, I can go down on a guy and fart any day of the week. Yeah, he just can't fart on me.
That's a good pick because I think you're guaranteeing yourself. I think what you're saying is actually better than in the act of
Just
consummation.
Yeah.
Because in that situation,
You can pass
pass it off. You can power through.
Literally, you're like,
she's not going to be happy. She's not going to be happy about it. But they're not. Yeah, they're not going to ruin. If
there's stank that comes with the act. Anyway.
If they're doing that,
yeah,
it's done. You're done.
Yeah,
like it's game over.
Yeah,
like enjoy your time.
Yeah,
that's not happening again.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hit that green button.
All right. So what is number 4 for you? That was number 3.
Oh no, you got another one?
My very first pick obviously was in the Ocean Gate submarine.
Yes.
That was the worst to me. That was a bad one. The second one was being the first or second one and a 3-man human centipede, man or woman. And we're not going to be sexist. And then, of course, my third one was obviously in the act of receiving some kind of service during intimacy. I think with my final pick in this draft, one of them just doesn't hit the same, but I think one of the worst places to fart, and I think just is a bit morbid, but I think given recent circumstances, this may make it come up to me. It would be at the hospital bedside of someone that is close to passing away. I think that's probably the most disrespectful thing that could happen to that individual and or their family. But I think overall, any circumstance where you have this traumatic moment going on and just like it just happens and you just crap your pants. Because, there's old people that just do that. They're just sitting there and just act like nothing.
Right.
Like
and that's why you can blame it on the dying person.
That's why you can blame it on the dying person. You're like, a lot of people die. A lot of people
always gone. Like,
a lot of people crap themselves as they die.
Did he void his bowels already?
You'd be like, well, that was the telling sign that he had passed.
Hit that green button.
Okay.
Guys, we're twins for a reason. It's not when they're dying. It's when they're dead. It's at the funeral. You're going to fart at their funeral. It's quiet a lot during their funerals. Do you understand that? If you happen to fart at the wrong time during a funeral, not only is it disrespectful to the dead person who's like, everybody's remembering,
but to his beloved,
but to everybody else around you that's having to suffer through your shit.
That's what they're going to remember about the funeral.
Exactly.
Like,
correct.
You remember? Yeah. Brian shit his pants.
Remember Alex shit his pants? Yeah, exactly.
No, that's a good one. That's a solid pick.
It is there. So there is a dignity to the funeral process, whereas there's a lot less dignity to death because it's incredibly sad and depressing. And people void their bowels. But at a funeral, no, you're supposed to be on your top etiquette.
The reason I didn't pick funeral, because that did come to my mind, is I was thinking most of the times with funerals, I'm thinking outdoor funerals. I know there's the service that's usually
I'm thinking in the church. But you're sitting in those pews and it's a Catholic one.
It's a pew. We were in there, but like at the same time, like there's enough space and like airiness that it could like go away. While
not those people around you.
Well, in a hospital bed, in that room, you're in a confined space where it's gonna take hold.
We're gonna have a lot of fart sounds throughout this, right? You're gonna put in.
I mean, I think I did a really good one earlier in the. I think I was very good.
Long.
Okay.
All right, let me wrap this one up. It's my last pick. So I don't have a lot left on my list. You guys took a lot of the ones that I agree with. This one is going to sound very random, but if you think about it, I think it'll make sense. Right after you sneeze. Think about it. Right after
you can't control my nose. I'm not going to be able to control my
bingo. That is exactly it. If you sneeze, you have already.
I don't know why I think it's so funny.
You have already drawn attention to yourself. Everyone's already looking at.
I think that's more of a shark that I'm thinking of in that situation.
Everyone is already paying attention to you. You've already drawn attention to yourself. Then you fart. They're going to say, this guy can't control any of the holes in his body. He has no control over his orifices. Like, think about it. You sneeze, you go, achoo. Like, What a sloppy motherfucker over here.
They're checking you for a dribble. They're checking for a dribble of piss while they're at it, just in case.
I mean, there's no more like sloppy
Did you die for a second? You know, they say your heart stops like when you. I think it's been disproven. It's been disproven, but I think they said that so that way you did. Yeah, you void all of your bowels, every hole there is in you.
I mean, this may or may not be personal, but like again. You've already drawn. Everyone's already been like, "Oh, they're getting ready to say bless you," and then you fart, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's just a slob. He just can't control any of his body functions." So right after a sneeze, I think it's one of the worst times to do it. Wow. All right, so this has been great.
I think all these circumstances. I think the thing is like. Being a fat guy, you avoid these at all costs because you're the first one that's going to be blamed. They always think it's the fat guy.
You're gross.
Yeah, it's like, you don't care. You're whatever. When normally it's a guy like Dwight, and that's the one who's the most disgusting. Because we're actually a little bit more thoughtful about it.
It's true. It's true.
Well, that's a hell of a draft.
That was a draft. That was fun.
Do we want to go over some? Do we have any honorable mentions? Anybody have any that didn't get picked that they want to get out there?
Honestly, I think we did a good job because you all took a lot of them. The only one I had that was not picked, and I think this gets a little bit to funeral is moment of silence. I think if you take a moment of silence and you do it, that's bad.
That's actually terrible.
That's disrespectful.
That might be worse than the funeral itself.
Justin, do you have any?
Mine are kind of generic. I think overall, a lot of these all got picked. There's just two that I had left on my list. And the first one is very generic, but I think this covers basically the scheme of everything. Any place with great acoustics. You just, anything that has
acoustics in this.
And it's going to carry.
You should say it right after you do it too. You should fart and they go, man, the acoustics in this place are amazing.
Yes.
I was just telling you.
Any place like that, you just don't
have a concert in here.
Yeah, exactly. And then my other one that I really had was just in a pool and the bubbles rise to the surface. Like you actually get the big bubbles.
You just feel like, oh, jacuzzi tub.
Yeah. But no, I think overall, I think we hit the main ones. And I think the human centipede one was obviously the one that we worry about the most happening because that's a situation that could pop up at any time.
Yeah, at any time. Yep. Well, I think that's the majority of it. The only thing I want to say before we leave here
have you liked and subscribed yet?
Please do that. All right, Justin, send us out, buddy.
All right. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching the Now We Can Talk Like Men podcast. If you haven't already, do us a favor. Go on all of our social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok now, all that good stuff. Make sure you're subscribed, following all of that. You can find us at Now We Can Talk Like Men on all of those, except for Twitter, which is too long. So it's NWCTLM. And if you could, go ahead and follow us on that. We'll be tweeting out lots of good information and stuff from there. You can follow us at our individual social media accounts. I'm at Justin Sofro.
B-Balls90.
And he is at
DD Young 2.
There you go. They got it all in there for you. Do me a favor right now. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. And we will see you guys next time.
Guys, we missed the perfect opportunity during the whole fart segment.
For what, farting?
Right now!